Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below.
Hey guys, kicking off again, second day of the week. Back from Big D yesterday, and got in a stream, a very late night long stream, but we got everything caught up, I think. And we're kicking off here, Philadelphia Eagle week.
Slowly recovering my voice.
Yes, and again, you're 10 times better than you were yesterday. So, I'm still going to do most of the stuff tonight here, but you'll be chiming in whenever you'd like. And, of course, you'll always be in the chat, rocking whoever's in there and, kind of parlaying some of the important comments and the bigger thoughts there to the channel here. We can read them, as well as, announcing when people, drop some knowledge, drop some love, etc., etc. Jerry Jones looking for some knowledge. Did he make a trade today? I think you guys know the answer, but there was definitely roster moves on this team today. We're going to talk about that and more, as well as this battle with the Eagles. First look at these damn Eagles. I hate the Eagles. We're going to hold up on the cursing as much as possible until a couple minutes in this thing. We're going to discuss the first look of this game and, just kind of touch the first kind of, kind of the first thoughts about what we're going to expect to see in this battle. NFC East battle, NFC battle, really top teams in the NFL battle. So we'll get to that and more. But first, let's shout out those that rock it here, make things happen here. On My Cowboys Family, on the nightly. Like Snug X, who has the takeover, a full takeover, the sponsor of the week, the top spot there. That's the top spot of the board is the sponsor of the week. So appreciate the man Snug X. You know why he's here. But he's also here, not just repping that star for everything. He's here with an 11-week streak for Snug X as our Cash App king. This is a double week, guys. So it's last week and this week. It's going to be combined into one mega week, so to speak. So will Snug X hold it down for another one and make it 3 months of domination here on My Cowboys Family? We got to wait and see. Currently, he's got that major. I think that's the second best streak we ever had here outside of Jason Renfro's 20 in a row. Now, you see the other major man here, Mark Hovsepian, 75 points in the stream boss. Hey, just a reminder, he's our sponsor. He was our sponsor of the week for 15 straight weeks.
That's right.
That's even harder to do. So much love to him. You're hearing all the all-timers here, the all-time record holders. Appreciate you, Mark Hovsepian, always rocking it here, all the way from Hawaii, that navy blue, silver, and star. And then the gifting champion, Jason Renfro. Yes. By the way, big congrats to the Texas Rangers. Every time I talk to Jason Renfro, we talking the Rangers. And yeah, 3-1 right now in the series. One more. Hey, we got world champions there in Dallas. So much love, Jason Renfro, repping on that board. Now, we got a leader this week, these last 2 weeks. It's the man staying skeptical. He's the gifting leader right now. I think he's got 4 on it. He's trying to keep way ahead of everybody else. So much love to him. He's got 2 safety tally. But he's gifting these memberships, and we truly appreciate that. One of the best ways to get to give back to the channel and to the family. Jason Renfro, the leader, the champion, and Skeptical Fan, the leader this week. Appreciate you guys. Now, also, of course, when you look at the Cash App, Snug X, that record, is he the leader this week? Currently not. It's currently Jason Renfro representing it there, trying to snap that huge streak. And hey, wouldn't it be something if Jason Renfro is the one that breaks that streak, trying to keep his all-time record here, 5 months of domination, intact? We'll see what happens. He's currently the leader. And finally, the most important spot of the board, the overall board. And it's amazing, baby. It's Mr. Amazing Games representing the top spot. Hell yeah. Much love to him in the West Coast style, repping that star for everything. Amazing Games currently in the lead to try to take that sponsor of the week. So now I got that over with there. Got everyone shouted out. Of course, got to shout out those in the, I always shout out everybody in the membership. Navy Blue, Silver 2, Star over everything, and the over everything level, of course. And those are going to have extra special perks this week. But on top of the special perks, let's give out the nightly shout-out perks for those in the star level and over everything level here in My Cowboys Family. And let me say it, starting off with the man staying skeptical fan, Jason Renfro in the house, top dog, Dwayne Broussard, LC Lincoln Kane, also a star level member, Mary Alvarez representing it here with us, Andy Potched in the house, Marissa Sparkle. Appreciate you as always. And last but never least, De Lunatic. And he's an extra special shout out here. In a minute, we'll show you why. But you got super chats, you got gifting memberships, you got memberships you can jump into, you got the thanks button. we also got 4 ways you can jump into the Cash App side of things to help the channel out. Of course, SnugX, he's repping it now. Jason Renfro in the lead. But the Cash App, $ MyCowboysFamily, Venmo at my-Cowboys-Family, PayPal, CowboysFamily at Gmail, and the message on the screen through Streamlabs. Again, that would be similar to the the Super Chats that drop. And that's another way of helping out the channel. Those ways go into the overall board, but also the Cash App side. You know what goes on, no matter what, goes on every side of the board here, baby? When you drop the love, it goes towards this fantastic double jersey raffle brought to you by the one and only De Lunatic. Much love to him. 2 jerseys getting raffled off, 2 different winners. Whoever has, you have a lot of opportunities here, guys. A lot of different perks to get in, even more additional chances to get a better chance to win a jersey, sewn and stitched. You know the man, Cowboys Mosh, all different kinds of jerseys, guys. From old school to new school legends, newer players, even those Jason Wittens and Des Bryants and Tony Romo. You can go there if you like, but yeah, there's a lot of jerseys to choose from, a lot of styles, sizes, the whole 9 yards. Great quality. Again, we rep it all the time here on My Cowboys Family. And how do you get in this thing? Well, simple, guys. $10 holler, or a total of $10 over these 2 weeks, and you get yourself at least one raffle entry. One raffle entry. If you get in the raffle, that way, the next thing is the membership. If you're in the membership, it's a bonus entry. So you got 2 raffle entries, and if you want to keep stacking them to up your chances to win one of these 2 great jerseys that you get to choose from, well, unlimited entries. Every 10 on top of that, another entry. Every 10 on top of that, another entry. So, again, you can max out your opportunities to get a chance to win one of these fantastic jerseys from the Lunatic here. Brought to you by the Lunatic from Cowboys Mosh. Thank you guys who are in it currently. And like I said earlier, amazing games at the top spot. I think he's got 5 entries right now. I think that's the leading entry number. Definitely has the better chance than anybody else right now to win one of these 2 fantastic jerseys. So appreciate the man, the Lunatic. Much love to him and everybody else who's in this thing. Go Cowboys. So now on that note, I think we're gonna roll over to the shout-outs portion of things, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, baby. I'll let you handle this. Yeah, go ahead. Who's in the house tonight?
We have Cactus G in the house. What's up? Much love. Tyrone Church representing. Griff 181, peace to you. Even you, Wes Robinson, even you. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Wes?
Redman R, what's up? You know it. Eagles are next.
Next to be served.
David Lara, always go Cowboys. Daniel Berry Sports, much love. We have Jason Renfro in the house. Shout out to you, of course. Andy Potched representing as well. Stephen White, hello and hi. Fuego bringing the heat.
Ooh.
House Nelson in the house. And yes, I was screaming he never missed again at the game. several times.
I think we have audio proof of that in the short section.
There you go. And Freedom First, what's up? Much love. Bruce got the Toxic Juice. Thanks for joining us here. And of course, as more people trickle in, I'll make sure to continue giving them their due proper shout outs. But let's go ahead and touch on the little bit of NFL news before we deep dive into our Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, in this battle with the Eagles. But hey, you know what's funny today, baby? A lot of the news is going to be NFL because it's a trade deadline today, and it passed the 4 p.m. Eastern. And I got to go through some of it. I'm going to fly through these a little bit in the beginning here. These are the lesser important trades to our Cowboys. You know what I mean? Because, there's a lot of trades going on. Who cares about this offensive lineman or that guy? But I'm going to touch on all of them real quick, so let's go. Trades today, guys, as the deadline came to a close. Compensation up. The Arizona Cardinals. They traded their starting quarterback, Joshua Dobbs. Now, we know him because he beat us. Him and his Cardinals beat us. But the Cardinals ended up trading starting quarterback Josh Dobbs and a 7th-round pick to the Kirk Cousins-less Minnesota Vikings, guys. They give up a 6th-round pick. So, again, basically they gave up very little. They gave up a 6th-rounder to get a 7th-rounder back in Joshua Dobbs as well. So now, it's interesting because I wonder what the Cardinals are trying to do now going with their guy who really doesn't won much. They won 1 game this year against us. So Josh Dobbs is the Cowboy killer, I guess you can say. But he's now going to the Vikings, and he might be a backup. I mean, if they're a guy they have ready to go next after Kirk Cousins. And again, after losing Kirk Cousins with that torn Achilles 2 days ago, they brought in Josh Dobbs, who started the first 8 games for the Cardinals. But there's now options for the Vikings in the quarterback room next to Jaron Hall, who took over the reins from Kirk Cousins. So they want to make sure they got some veteran there, some kind of veteran behind the unknown quarterback there with the Minnesota Vikings. So that was the reason for the trade. Again, if you're thinking about Trey Lance, because some people are saying maybe he'd go to the Vikings, Trey Lance would have. There's no way in hell Jerry Jones would have traded away Trey Lance and a 7th-round pick to get another 6th-rounder. Sorry, the holding on to Trey Lance much more important, much more worthwhile than a 6th-round pick. Let's be honest. So there was never an option there for the Cowboys to trade away Trey Lance to the Vikings. Yeah. So now, the Vikings then turned around outside of getting Dobbs. They also traded their starting guard. This actually, again, all these touch on the star. Always these things touch on the Cowboys because they traded guard Ezra Cleveland to the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, so you're like, what's the big deal, right? They traded him away, who's a very good player, by the way. I think he's their left guard. Vikings traded him to the Jaguars for a 6th-round pick. Low-level stuff there, right? Mm-hmm. Ezra Cleveland, he missed the last 2 games because of a foot injury, so there's injury concerns there. But the bigger thing is, who's taking over his spot? His name might sound familiar, Dalton Reisner.
That does sound familiar.
Because I was talking about picking him up way back when as a value guard. He wasn't picked up till like the 1st or 2nd week of the season. And the biggest thing with him, with Dalton Reisner, is injury concerns. So the Vikings are rolling the dice on the injury concerns of Dalton Reisner and hoping that, I guess, that he lasts as long as possible. He's now filling in and starting for that missing, Ezra Cleveland traded player to the Jaguars. So, again, just throwing it out there, the Vikings making some moves today, right? One of the teams currently in the playoffs, right? The Cleveland Browns. Well, I say in the playoffs. That would be in the playoffs if the season ended now. Cleveland Browns ended up trading wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Detroit Lions. By the way, the Lions, another team in the NFC, would be in the playoffs right now. So, compensation update on this. The Lions traded a 6th-round pick in 2025 for this receiver from the Browns, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Just interesting. All 6th-rounders being traded for these guys so far, right? Now, the last trade of the bunch, of the whatevers, was the Packers trading their defensive back, Rasul Douglas, to the Buffalo Bills. Yep, guys, a 3rd-round pick went to the Packers from Buffalo, and, Packers sent Rasul Douglas and a 5th-rounder back to the Buffalo Bills. So that's how that broke down. Just general stuff there, kind of little moves, 6th-rounders. Again, a 3rd-rounder there, Rasul Douglas. But let's go to the big trades of the day.
All right.
The Washington Commanders, they got busy. NFC East was busy. Contavious Street from the Eagles, he went to the Falcons yesterday. They traded him away. You saw Leonard Williams yesterday also get traded away from the Giants, and he went over to the Seahawks.
Well, Washington said we have him fire sale.
Washington said, let's double down and do 2 guys out of here. Commanders and the Chicago Bears agreed to a trade which sent Montez Sweat, defensive end, very good player there, to the Bears for a 2024 2nd-round pick. Wow. So again, Sweat is in the last year of his contract. The Commanders are now opting for a draft pick rather than rolling with him for the future. Chicago gets better on their defensive line. And again, guys, obviously for the Cowboys, how does this affect us? Well, the Cowboys, we will not see Montez Sweat in either our games against Washington this year, obviously. We still got to play Washington twice, the Commanders. But they weren't done. We're not going to see another guy we're not going to see. I don't think we've ever really seen him at 1 or 2 games against us. He was like the 2nd-round overall pick, Chase Young. The Washington Commanders said, too many injuries, too injury, prone. We're going to trade you. And the key here is to the team that he got traded to, guys. Chase Young, who's, who definitely is effective when he's not injured. 2nd overall pick of the draft a couple years ago. Chase Young was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, another team in the playoff, in the playoff hunt here. I'm just saying, the Niners strengthened up. We know the issues we have, but they lost 3 in a row. They don't have much of a pass rush currently. We went with Nick Bosa there, so they're trying to beef that up, and they added Chase Young, who, by the way, Nick Bosa said, bring him in here. Like, they're both from Ohio State. He said, bring him in here. Aren't they both from Ohio State? Let me know if I'm wrong on that. I think they're both from Ohio State. But either way, Bosa said, come on down. He's a good guy to bring in here. They got Chase Young. Now they got, on both sides, they got 2. On the left side and the right side, they got a number 2 overall pick and another number 2 overall pick as edge rushers for the Niners defensive line.
It bothers me to, once again, see some of the top teams in the NFC and heck, some of the top teams in the NFL making the moves that we wish we would make. And maybe not specifically that player, but it's about the level of quality player they're getting and the type of impact they're going to have on their team, like, we just don't make those same types of moves. So
the Niners still have to, when you see these trades go through sometimes they can bring immediate impact, but most of the time it's a lot of, they got to get cohesiveness. They got to get that, it still takes time to kind of fit into the room with these guys. So
not necessarily a plug and play type of situation.
Not every time, and what I'm trying to say is people say, oh, if you made it, he's going to play next week and he's going to dominate. All these guys, no, not necessarily, but still, it's not going to be necessarily smooth sailing for any of these trades. But look, let's stick with the Washington Commanders for a second. Because, by the way, the trade, I didn't finish the what did they trade him for? They traded away Chase Young to the Niners. The Niners gave them a 2024 compensatory third-round pick. Okay. Now, that compensatory pick was from, I think, McGlinchey. When they traded him, they got a pick from them. Okay, I'm sorry, not a trade. When McGlinchey left the Niners and signed somewhere else, this is the conditional pick, or not conditional pick, but the compensatory pick that they're receiving from that, from him leaving the Niners. But here's the bigger thing. Here's the key thing. If Chase Young leaves in free agency, let's just say, because again, he's at the end of his contract. If he's only there for like 10 games with the Niners and then does not re-sign with the Niners don't re-sign him and they let him go, the Niners recoup. They get back another, like they have to basically, they would get back a similar third-round pick from Washington. Believe it or not, guys. Again, so it's basically, it's really, to me, I got to be honest, guys. I mean, the Niners seem to make the smart move here. You got a guy who can give you some upside here, high ceiling in Chase Young. Then you're giving up a third-round pick, right, that you got off of a guy that just left your team, right? McGlinchey, who signed big numbers, some big contract somewhere else. And then if you lose that, again, this is the end of the third round. You're seeing this pick being given up. And then if for some reason the Niners say, you know what, we don't want to keep Chase Young, let him go. Guess what happens then? The Niners will receive, they still got to give up that third-round pick, but they get another third-round pick maybe 10 picks later from Washington. So to me, it is a damn good pick up by the Niners. It's a smart move. It's called, being wise about how you move your pieces around, your draft capital, whatever it is. So the Washington Commanders, on trade deadline day, moved 2 stars, 2 defensive monsters on their defensive line, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and they were once viewed as foundational players. I mean, they got Deron Bland now. I'm sure he's not too happy about moving away this big defensive line. He just signed a huge contract with them. Deron, what did I say? Anyways, the point is, Jason Renfro dropping a dollar holler here. And Go Cowboys in the chat. Appreciate you kicking it off tonight.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Much love. And by the way, guys, thank you for all the lovely comments in the chat. I'm glad you guys enjoyed our, tour videos there. So always something great to see when we're looking at our Cowboys history. So, by the way, sorry. I saw a little funny comment here from Pioneer saying, "Huh? Jerry likes his guys." So, and I saw an earlier comment, I think from, and who was it? Oh, Frame Ripper said, Jerry Jones said I have 8 billion reasons to say I'm the best GM in the NFL.
Actually, it was 10 billion. Oh, according to Mr. West, when we went on that tour, we're worth $10 billion. I don't know. Much love, Jason Renfro, getting in the mix here. Now he's second place on the gifting championship board. He is the gifting champ, by the way. He's second right behind Mr. Skeptical Fan with the gifting membership. And who got that? The Great Voodoo. The Great Frame Rippers in the house. Much love to him, and congrats, and much love to Jason Renfro, moving up this chart as the overall leaderboard, and also trying to, I think he's got 2 now. He's going for his third, I think, here, close to his third membership on top of his third raffle, on top of his membership bonus raffle as well. So he's piling up some opportunities to win a jersey here in My Cowboys Family, and he's giving it to Frame Rippers that gifted membership. And you can drop those emojis, guys. Drop them if you got them. It's anti-Philly week. It's fuck Philly week. So
Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
We ended up getting. We actually traded for Casper the Friendly Ghost. So there we go. The refs can't throw flags at them if they can't see them. Oh, just kidding. But yeah, Cleveland, no surprises there. Just repeating for everybody who's joining us now. But Yeah, Cowboys ended up doing exactly what Jerry said post-game, which was nothing, more or less.
Yeah, well, we're building up to that. But yes, as we're getting closer to that, just much love, by the way, Jason Renfro. And he is very close to another raffle entry, so to speak, there. Now, again, foundational players being moved from Washington's defense. We don't have to play either of these guys this year. Their defense got big-time hurt on these trades. And it's just something, people are out there saying it's not fair, we didn't make any moves. And whether we should have or shouldn't have, that's another discussion. But my point is, a lot of people are out there saying, well, 3 out of the 4 NFC East teams were making moves on or around the trade deadline. You look at the Eagles. I know they gave up the Kentavious Street to the Falcons, but they lost somebody. They gained a future draft pick, whatever. But we know earlier in the last week, they acquired Kevin Byard, who's a monster player at that safety position. And again, that's how they improved their team with a trade here on this final week of the trade deadline. The Giants traded away Leonard Williams for draft capital. You just saw Montez Sweat and Chase Young being traded away for draft capital. And people are like, well, they're bitching about the fact that we didn't make any moves. Guys, you know, out of those 3 teams, I know 3 out of the 4 didn't. We didn't do it. But out of those 3 teams, 2 of them gave up their seasons this week. 2 of them gave up their seasons. Let's be honest. The Eagles, of course, they're building forward. They're doing the right moves as a team that needs to, just keep piling on like the Niners did. Like we maybe should have, right? But do you really want to be involved in trades that are going to kind of hurt your team for now? Because the Giants just hurt their team for now, trading away Leonard Williams in that defense. They improved in the future. They hurt them now. And then Chase Young and Montez Sweat, both these guys, obviously very good players, gone. For trade, draft capital, true, for the future improvements, but nonetheless, they got to start over now. 2 out of these 3 NFC East teams that made moves basically surrendered the season. Ended their seasons after these trades, more or less. Now, and just to show you guys about the Washington Commanders and what their moves there, trading away Chase Young and Montez Sweat, who's left as far as on their active roster for defensive edge rushers for the Washington Commanders, Casey Toohill, James Smith-Williams, Effie Obata, Andre Jones Jr., and KJ Henry. That's it. That's trash. I mean, they got some still good players inside, but my goodness, guys, their outside is... The edge rushers are as weak as you can get. They basically trade away their entire edge rushing stars. And that's it. And so when we play Washington, that should be something that we can work on them. We can definitely work them down on the edges. The pressure shouldn't be as bad on the outside. So, the Cowboys, we'll look into that in a couple weeks whenever we play the Washington Commanders. So, but the Niners, they, of course, made the move to get Chase Young to their roster and improve their defensive pass rush. The Niners, by the way, made another move. It involves a former Cowboy, Anthony Brown. You guys asked about Anthony Brown yesterday.
Yeah.
The Niners cut Anthony Brown off of their practice squad. They had to make room because with the trade by acquiring Chase Young. So again, he originally signed a one-year deal on September 22nd with the Niners. He appeared in 2 games, Anthony Brown, this year. He only had action, though. I think he had 3 special team snaps. So he didn't really do much for them. He spent his first 7 years, of course, with our Cowboys. Started 12 games for the Cowboys last year. He has 69 career starts in the NFL, really, for the Cowboys. He hasn't played with anybody else as a starter. So they needed room on their active roster. They had to get rid of somebody. They got rid of Anthony Brown. Just letting you know.
Unfortunate for him.
Yeah. So he's out there floating around as a cornerback if you want to add extreme depth. And he couldn't cut it with the Steelers earlier in the year. He couldn't cut it with the Niners. He ain't going to cut it with the Cowboys, again, especially if we know him already. Now, the Niners, here's where they improved, right? They needed more pass rushers. And over the last month, they've added Randy Gregory. We know good and well about Randy Gregory. And now they added Chase Young in their stable of pass rushers. Now their defensive line for the Niners look like this. Nick Bosa, Chase Young at the edges. Javon Hargrave inside, Eric Armstead inside, Drake Jackson, Randy Gregory, Javon Kinlaw. I mean, when you look at the Washington Commanders lineup and you look at this lineup, it's like puke versus gold. And unfortunately, we're going to see this Niner team with these guys somewhere down the line if we want to get to where we need to get to. So either way, Cowboys got to just, hey, maybe we'll make a move, right? Well, as the day went on, Philadelphia, as we know, with Byard, the New York Giants, we talked about that move. Washington Commanders, San Francisco Niners, San Francisco 49ers, they all did things to get better with their franchises pretty much for the most part. I would say Philly and the Niners They made moves to improve their franchises now. Cowboys did nothing to improve their franchises now. And again, as of this point, right? By the way, first and foremost, baby, who just dropped there?
We had Jason Renfro dropping another Dollar Holler classic. Go Cowboys.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you, Jason.
Much love, Mark Hosepian, at 72 points. Ed Too Tall, Jones style on that stream boss. So anyway, so the Cowboys, we're still, listen, guys, you know what I've been saying here on MCF. And you've been saying this too, baby, that we've been saying, hey, Jerry Jones ain't going to make a move. He's been saying it pretty much. They'll look into things, and you hear rumblings. We heard rumbling about Jalen Johnson. Maybe, giving the permission to get traded. Cowboys were, supposedly involved later on today, though. I heard there was the Niners and the Bills involved. The Niners went and got Chase Young. The Bills, they made another move out there for who was that? For the cornerback, for the defensive back for the Packers. So, Rasul Douglas. So, Jalen Johnson actually ended up staying in Chicago after exploring, some trades. Ends up staying in Chicago. So that means the Cowboys didn't really go at him and try to make any real, trade offers there. In fact, here's the crazy thing, baby. Of the 7 teams currently that would be in the playoffs right now in the NFC, those 7 teams, the Cowboys were the only team didn't trade for a player in this last week. So you're talking about the Niners, Chase Young, Byard with the Eagles, right? You got the Vikings. They just made a move to try to get a quarterback in there, improve their quarterback options with Kirk Cousins going down. The Lions brought in a receiver. I think they had a receiver go down. So, who are the other teams that made moves? Shoot, I don't know. The other teams that are in the running here. At the Falcons, I think they made a move. They got what's his name from the Eagles after they lost Grady Jackson. They got Kadarius Street. So all these teams, guys, 6 out of the 7 teams in the NFC that would be in the playoffs right now made moves to improve themselves or get another player in-house for now. The Cowboys were the only one that did not do a damn thing. I'll explain it more in a minute. First, another dollar holler. Jason Renfro. Much love to him. Said? I have a feeling I know.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. And by the way, I think after that one, he just jumps over Mr. Mark Hosepian. Especially after another little baby drop going down here in the Cash App, baby. He said, bring it. A $2 holler for Mr. Jason Renfro in the Cash App.
It's been brought, Jason.
Yeah, so
Thank
Jason.
You, Jason. Appreciate you,
Jason, of course, the leader in the Cash App, leading the Cash App right now for this week and a half. And officially now second place on the overall board. Jumping over Mr. Mark Hosepian, dominating Mr. Mark Hosepian. Mark Hosepian is a dominator on these boards. Obviously, has some records, but Jason Renfro said, "Hold up, I'm jumping Mr. Mark Hosepian into second place for Jason Renfro, only trailing Amazing Games." So, there we go. Appreciate you, Mr. Jason.
Now,
Renfro.
Jared Morrison is saying that he doesn't think that we're going to see the Niners in the playoffs.
We may not see them. I'm saying if
the way they're trending right now.
Trending again, guys. Things change. They're making moves to get better, and again, I think the Seahawks also made a move, right? They're another one of these teams that are quote unquote playoff team right now. They're actually the leaders of the West. They're actually they're better than the Niners currently. Yeah. But they're the ones that got Leonard Williams. So again, they made a big move to try to improve themselves. All these teams in the quote unquote playoff situation right now all made moves to stay in the playoff situation, except for the Cowboys. They're good. Again, you know how we go do, guys. Cowboys, Jerry Jones, they always say what? We like our own guys. We like who we got. We're going to stay with Pat right now. And that's actually what Jerry Jones did say. But I'll get into that in a minute. In fact, I'll get into it right now. But again, appreciate you, Jason Rev. I moved them up on the board. Great comments in there in the chat. And any other quick little thoughts, baby?
Let me see here. Popeye P27 saying Washington acts like hoes for making that move.
The Washington, the poker hose. Anyways,
cracking me up.
Yeah,
there, by the way,
yeah. Washington, they took themselves out of the running here of any kind of chance to do anything this year. I think with losing their 2 solid players there on the defensive line.
So now just kind of rolling through here. Justin D said, "It is what it is. We knew Jerry wasn't going to do anything, so just go beat Philly."
Boom, there it is, and that's what basically Jerry Jones. That's what Jerry Jones basically said, guys. Jerry Jones said this about the trade deadline earlier in the day before we knew they didn't make any moves. He said this, quote, "Again, this is a competitive thing, as you know, but still, I'm not seeing anything right at this moment, I just see us right now having a pat hand. AKA, that means staying pat, staying in place, not making any moves. Basically, that's what he said today on the Shannon RJ 105 on the Shannon RJ show on 105.3 The Fan. And of course, as we know, Jerry Jones was not bullshitting. It's exactly what happened. Now, whether you agree or disagree, guys, on Jerry Jones's moves or no moves, we'll discuss it here in a minute. But the trade deadline passed. The Cowboys stand pat, as Jerry Jones said they were going to, and the roster for our Cowboys basically set in stone, going on for the rest of the season unless we make any kind of free agent moves or pickups and that kind of stuff, which actually we did do. I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I'm going to tell you why I think the Cowboys did not make any actual real moves for even a guy like a Jonathan Hankins situation.
Yeah, why did we kind of go by Jerry's word of we're not making any moves?
Yeah, I mean,
even Jerry,
he bullshit sometimes, right?
Yeah, but even we will say, hey, we haven't made any moves, and then still get like a scrub. You know what I mean? Like still make like the world's babiest trade of all.
So, and again, even as a good trade it was last year with Jonathan Hankins, it wasn't a blockbuster trade though. It was like a 6th round pick. So that's what you heard me say in the beginning of these trade deadline moves. Those were kind of the Jonathan Hankins moves. Cowboys are not involved in that. They weren't involved in the big name moves, which that I definitely assumed. And I think a lot of Cowboy fans are hoping, Jerry Jones will change it this time. He was saying it. Stephen Jones was saying it. Mike McCarthy said, I don't make those decisions. That's what happens when you have Jerry Jones as our GM. Now, I'm not necessarily against it. If you make a move, it's good to make a move if it's a good fucking move. If you're going to trade for someone like Roy Williams at receiver and give up 2 first-rounders, whatever we did that year, that's a dumb move. You don't want to be involved in trades if that's all you're going to get on players you want. So who knows if the Jalen Johnson trade was going to be something like, maybe we needed to give up a first and a second or something. So, of course, we don't want to see a move being made by Jerry Jones if that was the situation. No matter how much we might have liked the player or seen the team improved, that's just the way it is. But, Chase Young going to the Niners for their compensatory pick, and then if they don't keep him after this year, they're going to just get back a later 3rd-round compensatory pick. That's a good deal. That's a deal. Again, who wouldn't have done that with us, though? The Washington Commanders. They were trying to... Not going to help us, for sure. They'd rather help the Niners than help the Cowboys, obviously, our division rivals. So, there's a lot of reasons for this, guys. But the main reason there was no trades done, which I say complicating the trade scenarios for the Cowboys, the reality of our draft capital in this upcoming season, in this upcoming draft. So, the Cowboys currently have no picks in the 4th, 5th, or 6th rounds in 2024. That's the reason why the Cowboys didn't even touch the trade situations, guys. The Cowboys have 1 pick in round 1, of course. We have 1 pick in round 2. Mm-hmm. We have 1 pick in round 3. And then we have 2 picks in round 7. That is it, guys. We got day 1, 1 pick. Day 2, 2 picks. Round 2 and 3. Day 3, we don't pick shit until the 7th round and we pick twice. Okay, that's undrafted players. You're picking undrafted players. That day 3 is boring for us at this moment right now because ain't nothing going down. But I will say this. We lost a couple guys, whether it be, I don't know how much we're going to get for some of these guys, but like a Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, a couple others out there, you might see us get back a 5th or 6th compensatory pick for those guys I just mentioned. So, yeah, we'll probably get a late 6th rounder and a late 5th rounder to add into the 2 7th rounders on day 3. That seems to be the direction we're going with those picks. So, again, that's the reason why I think the Cowboys are just gun shy. They don't want to get rid of all their picks. That's the way they do most of their business. It's not through trades, not through free agency. It's through draft. And so with no draft capital to really work with, especially day 3 already, taken away, basically, Jerry Jones didn't want to make any other moves there, right?
They're not going to risk it.
Yeah, they're not going to risk any more moves there. Although, again, you got to look about why don't we have a 5th rounder this year? Why don't we have a 6th rounder this year? I'll tell you why. Again, the Cowboys made our trade deadline moves over the last year. You got to look at the way things went down, guys. As simple as that. Oh, and again, I do agree. At this point, you take a look at your team and you can maybe make that last boost on a trade and make a run for things. But if you look over a little over a year since we got Jonathan Hankins last year, Cowboys have made 5 trades to acquire veteran players. Now, these are the only 5 players on the Cowboy current roster that have been acquired via trade. And these are the guys: Jonathan Hankins, Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks. Remember, we lost a lot of picks because of these 3 guys. You got to remember that, guys. And then later on in this offseason, we picked up Trey Lance in a trade, right? Gave away, I think, a 6th rounder, or a 5th rounder, and Noah Igbenogany, which we gave up a pick. We flipped picks, I think, gave up a 6 or something like that, and got rid of Kelvin Joseph, and they give us a 7th with Noah. I don't know, a combination of things. My point is, those are the 5 trades we made this year. Jonathan Hankins, Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, Trey Lance, and Noah Igbenogany. Those are the 5 guys we got. Now, granted, Noah Igbenogany, he's not playing that much with special teams. Trey Lance ain't playing at all because he's our 3rd-string quarterback. Brandon Cooks coming on strong of late. Stephon Gilmore also getting more into the fit here as our number 1 now corner, basically, or number 2, I guess. Deron Bland's number 1, and Jonathan Hankins, who we re-signed him for a reason, but he was re-signed. That was off the trade last year, but it did take up one of our draft picks, I think, for this past draft. So again, that's the moves the Cowboys. Those are the moves the Cowboys made, in trades over the last year. That's it, and it was no surprise to me at all. Zero. I mean, when I looked at everything, I kind of forgot about the trade deadline, and I'm like, I went and checked at like 3:30. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I was surprised about Chase Young and nobody, but I'm like, yeah. I mean, I would have been very surprised if the Cowboys would have made a trade for anybody of any kind of big name or even a smaller. It would have to been a 7th round pick. We'd have to trade because we didn't have any day 3 picks. So it had to be a 2nd or 3rd. Now you talk about big names. We have to see flying in here if we're getting up a 2nd or 3rd rounder, and then we have no 4th, 5th, or 6th. So for 2 7-rounders, you're not going to get any names. So that is the expectation for me was obvious. We weren't going to make any moves today. They've been saying it, but I've been knowing it, and I think you guys have been knowing it here. If you've been listening to MCF, you guys have been listening to this channel. You guys know we weren't going to make any kind of big deals or maybe any deals, and that's what ended up happening. There were a couple moves though, and we'll mention those roster moves in a minute. But any thoughts on this, baby, from you about the fact that the Cowboys did not make any moves, and you see other teams kind of in the playoff run getting better?
I had said it earlier, but I do think it bears repeating again. I'm tired of the excuse of, oh, it's the salary cap, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, because every single team has the same exact number to work with. Heck, every other team has less to work with than we do because we're currently the team with the most free money right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah,
or the second most.
Not for this season in some ways, but not for the future, right? But you gotta remember, these teams also, the Bears, they got a lot of salary cap for next year, so they can make these moves more than we can. I would not say it's the salary cap necessarily, but
more the kicking the can down the road scenario.
You remember we have CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and others that are still looking to get signed, so you got to also factor that in. It's the players we have compared to the Bears. The Bears don't have many players in that sense, so they don't have to pay anyone coming up. We do. So I'm just throwing it in there for you, baby.
Oh, by the way, got to take a second here to shout out the sponsor of the week and the cat shop, King SnugX.
Woo, Snug.
He's in the chat. Guys, show him some love. Real quick, Lethal said, why do I have to be in a love-hate relationship with the Dallas Cowboys? I swear. Only hope we have is that one day McClay takes ownership.
McClay's not taking ownership. He'll never take ownership of the team, Will McClay. But you can bet your ass that Stephen Jones will as soon as Jerry Jones goes. So is that better? Is that worse? Is that the same? 2 out of those 3 are bad. So we'll see.
So now just kind of rolling back. I think we touched on most of that, right? Pioneer said there's always an excuse for Jerry. Cassie Stewart said Jerry is Mr. El Cheapo.
Oh, yeah. El Cheapo. And again, I will say this, though, Cassie. I'll say this to everybody. In the last year, he's made more trades than he ever has. But the fact that he's not doing it now, it makes sense, too, with the draft capital we have and the fact that he truly believes we got the best team possible right now. And that sometimes, as usual, bites us in the ass when it comes to the Cowboys.
So it is true, guys. 5 minutes ago, and thank you for that breaking news there. But per Adam Schefter, Raiders fire head coach Josh McDaniels.
I just saw that.
And GM Dave Ziegler. So
big move there. Yeah, son of Al, right? Making a big cut there, going away from
That's
McDaniels. Yeah, McDaniels. McDaniels been the coach of the Broncos, failed. Been the coach of the Vegas Raiders, failed. Just ugly. It's not a good coaching career for him outside of Belichick's web as his offensive coach there. So wow. Again, not really that surprising, but it is breaking news, and good. Thanks for the updates there, guys. 5 minutes ago this happened, so breaking news here. NFL news. We're talking Cowboys, right?
Cowboy.
Yeah, thank you.
That.
Much love, 808 Cowboy in the house. Navy Blue crew in here with us. I see corporate liaison here, Cassie Stewart, 808 Cowboy, Asmodeus, Justin D. hit that like button, everybody. Hit the subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell and rep that star with us here. Strong and over everything. You know what I mean? So what moves were made from Jerry Jones and this front office? Because there were some moves made today by the Cowboys, but it was forced moves. Let me explain. Today, from our practice squad, 2 guys were poached off the practice squad, guys. And first guy, Chris Glazer, a guard. All right, you guys probably don't know we had this guy, but we had signed him. He formerly played with the Jets. They haven't announced. I don't think they didn't announce which team he went to. It's kind of weird. They didn't announce which team poached him from us, but the guess is it's the New York Jets. The Jets, actually, he spent some time with the Jets. It sounds like the Jets wanted him back, so they took him off. They got to keep him on their roster for at least 4 weeks. On their 53-man roster, the way Anthony Brown had to be on the Niners roster after poaching him from the Steelers, on the Steelers practice squad. So, again, Chris Glazer off our practice squad opening there. And then Eric Sorbet. We just picked,
I mean, that's how I would say it.
We just picked him up last week for this game against the Rams because we were short on tight ends. This guy was activated for this game, elevated, I should say, for this game against the Rams. He was actually in uniform for this game against the Rams. Eric Sorbet, tight end, was poached from the Cowboys practice squad. We lost him. And that's a guy the Cowboys wanted to keep. Trust me on this. Now, he was up there. He was available before, he was available a week and a half ago. I don't know why. I don't know why the Houston Texans said, you know what, let's get him now. Let's poach him and throw him on our forced 4 weeks of 53-man roster here. But either way, they poached him from us. And the Texans, they added him to their 53-man roster. He was just signed and active against the Rams, Sorbet. So we lost a guy I think the Cowboys wanted to keep on there for as long as Hendershot's out. So then, so what did the Cowboys do to try to, I guess, replace at least one of these spots on our practice squad? We made a move, a name that we actually know, but not really. Again, don't calm down, everybody. Today, the Cowboys re-signed to the practice squad Dakota Shepley, a guard, basically to replace Chris Glazer, who, again, looks like he was poached by the Jets. But Dakota Shepley was with us in the past, and I think he got poached from us, and now we grabbed him back as he was released. Guard Dakota Shepley rejoined the Cowboys practice squad today. He spent last regular season on our practice squad. And then the Cowboys waived him in a procedural move before the playoffs. At the time of remember we waived them to get him back on the practice squad? And as soon as we did that, the Colts claimed him. For some weird reason, I don't even think they were in the playoffs, but they claimed him. So that was a weird situation for us. He got paid there, and then, once the Colts claimed him, it ended his season because they were out of the playoffs. Well, now he's back with the Cowboys on our practice squad, and there we go. So that's the big move of the day, guys. Cowboys signed Dakota Shepley, offensive guard, to our practice squad. That's the move of the day by Jerry Jones. Any thoughts, guys? Any comments? What would you rate that? From 1 as being the worst to 10 being the best, how would you rate that?
I mean, that's got to be the 11 out of 10 move, right? No, just it's a cleanup move. It's just like a little something there, just in case. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I have very few feelings about it that are positive or even neutral. So
there you go. Just wanted to make sure we got all caught up on all Jerry Jones's GMing moves of the day. Trade deadline day.
Asmodeus said, when it comes to spending for talent, Jerry Jones's butt cheeks pucker up so tight he can't fit a credit card between them.
I know. I think you could get some. You put a lump of coal up there and you pull out a diamond. Usually that's what happens when Jerry Jones feels that trade deadline coming upon.
Let me see here. Corporate liaison said, I'll compromise and give you 20% of the blanket. I want to show you the rising star. Okay. Sorry, wrong. Let me see. Letho said, as soon as Diggs went down, they should have replaced him with something or upgraded another position to take that load off our secondary. Again, I think part of the reason we didn't see an initial move is because they kind of gave Dan Quinn the chance to work with the players we already had and try to make those adjustments. And obviously the Cowboys, in the end, trusted Quinn to figure that shit out, basically, with what he had. He did manage to do that. But a lot of it had to do with luck as well. Like we had a healthy sprinkling of luck there in that regard. So, anyway, back to you, David.
No. Edgar Hernandez in the house. Much
Thank
love.
you for subbing it up.
Welcome to the family. I do see another comment here. A take of our moves by Bruce Got the Toxic Juice. He said, I rate that move as a what? Who? Anyways. I was reading a comment you missed. That's why I want to make sure I hit up the comments that people were kind of mentioning on this Shepley move, whatever move. But yeah, I mean, Thomas Garrett said, I don't even want to comment. If I do, I have to go to the altar on Sunday. That's how pissed off I was today.
Oh.
No trades. Everyone's again. I hear you, Thomas Garrett.
Look, I think I'm a little more agreeing with what Lethal said. I mean, heck, even a linebacker move at that point would have, helped tremendously. Just throwing that out there. Just anything to help our defense. And like I said, I understand the Cowboys' mindset of giving Quinn the chance to make the necessary adjustments or whatever. But the whole point is, it's we made those adjustments. We're looking great. Everything's good now. But I still feel like we're just one little hair away from being worse than we were when Diggs got hurt. And the way they're in a worse position.
The way I see that too, I mean, Jalen Johnson would have been a great pickup, but I'm assuming the Bears were asking for way too much, and the Cowboys want to be involved. You know how they are; they want to work that draft, so they would have to. They want to probably give up by 4. They would have given up probably a 4th and a 6th or something like that. We didn't have either of those picks. You got to remember, guys, we are handcuffed by no draft capital to begin with. Jerry Jones definitely, for whatever the reason, right or wrong, he doesn't want to give up draft capital to get a player who I believe is worth the draft picks, like a Jalen Johnson. That's the move. You want to secure somebody on the opposite side of Stephon Gilmore. We got DeRon Bland, but you put Bland into the slot, and then we're just fantastically better there with that kind of move. But that would also help us. Jalen Johnson would have helped us replace Stephon Gilmore when he leaves next year. It's a current move and a next year move for the future as well. If we had got a guy like that, I would have given up a second rounder for him. Jerry Jones said, let's save that second rounder so we can pick a guy like Kelvin Joseph, and he goes somewhere else. Sam Williams, and he's still, he's doing good. But I'm saying he's still not 2 years, hasn't really been out there playing too much. And the other second round failures we've had outside of Trayvon Diggs, a lot of second round failures, right? That's what Jerry Jones rather roll the dice with a rookie like that than get a guy like a Jalen Johnson. Of course, if the Bears were asking for a first rounder or a second round or a first and a third, fuck that. I agree with Jerry. Don't do it. But I'm just letting you know. We don't know what was offered or not. We know that Washington was giving away their players, but they weren't giving away to the NFC East. That we know. I can't really get mad at this because I knew it was going to happen, guys. We can't get too upset about this because we know Jerry Jones is not going to make a move 99.9% of the time when it comes to the trade deadline, and not a move, that's going to be a blockbuster big name move. The last big blockbuster name move we made was Amari Cooper. And the other ones we've done since then were guys like, Hankins during this trade deadline situation. T.Y. Hilton, which was not a trade, it was a pickup. And, like I said, in the offseason, it was probably the best offseason we had, and we picked up Gilmore and Cooks. We could have done more. That's a great offseason for the Jerry Jones. But for NFL teams, normal NFL teams, that's just like average. That's average moves right there. So, anyways, because Jerry Jones loves his draft picks, he loves his picks, he loves his players, he loves his team the way it is. It's a Jerry Jones-built team.
He loves it.
It's a Jerry Jones-built team. He's going to love everything about it because it's Jerry Jones. That's the problem of having your GM and owner doing the same job, being the same guy. We've talked about that. I'm not upset about this trade situation. I just knew it was going to happen this way because we have a shitty general manager. That's the point.
I think the better word for it is resigned.
Yeah.
Right?
We accepted it.
That's it. So you've gone through all the 5 stages of grief and landed on acceptance now.
Now let's move it on here. We're going to be done fast today, guys. But Jerry Jones, well, he'll speak a little later. Power rankings. Fuck the power ranking.
Always fuck the power ranking.
Only power ranking that matters is who's holding that trophy up at the end of the year. That's the only literal power ranking that matters. But as we always say, we always touch on it a little bit here. And all these outlets out there improved the Cowboys after this week, even by 1 or 2 spots only. We're already on the top 10 across every media source here. From 5th, a lot of places, to up to 4th. NFL.com had us at 8, moved us up to 6th. ESPN has us at 7, moves up to 5th. USA Today has us at 7, moves up to 6th. Same thing with Yahoo.com from 7 to 6th. CBS Sports put us from 6th to up to 4th. Athletic kept us at the 9th spot. Interesting. And Sports Illustrated just dropped us a spot here from 5 to 6. But hey, it's fuck the power rankings. I know some people care about that. I'll say it, but who cares? All that matters is who's holding up that trophy. Who's number one at the end of the year in the Super Bowl. That's all that matters. And, talk about the best teams in the league. Listen to this. Right now, currently, because the Lions won, right? Of course, they won last night against the Vegas Raiders, and now they're 6-2. The Eagles are 7-1 right now, and the Lions are second in the NFC at 6-2. Both of these teams, of course, have the best records in the NFC. But listen to this, though. Between the Eagles and the Lions, 6 of the Eagles' final 9 games are against teams that currently have a winning record. And actually, the next 6 games are teams that have a winning record. So that means they are facing some tough opponents, the Eagles, going forward here.
Again, I know we went over their schedule, I think, a little before our
part
bye
of it,
week.
a part of it, yeah.
But, yeah, they have one of the tougher matchups, not just, in the NFC, but, through the NFL.
Yeah, so the top team in the league and the top team in the NFC, 6 of their last 9 games, they have a bye week as well, but 6 of their last 9 games, they're facing teams that have a winning record, and 6 out of the next 6 have winning records right now for the Eagles at their opponents. The Lions, who are just a 1 game back on the Eagles, 1 of the Lions' final 9 games currently are against teams that have a winning record, and that's the Dallas Cowboys, Week 17. So, again, the only tough game at this moment for the Lions, supposedly, are the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Eagles, they get us, and they get us again. And then they get 6 more. They get 6 total here in the next 6 weeks. Of course, the last 3 weeks are a little bit easier for the Eagles, but still, if they can win these next 6 weeks, they win most of these games, and they're sitting. They got it. They got it then. And they overcame it all. So again, very important portion coming up here in the next month and a half to 2 months. All right, it's going to help decide a lot of things in the NFC East, a lot of things in the NFC. It's going to be a lot of things in the seeding situation for the playoffs. We're just turning the corner right here, turning that midway corner, but you can start seeing the end of the race coming up here for the regular season. So interesting stuff there. Just want to bring that up. Now, also when it comes to yards, stats, receiving leaders in the NFL, CeeDee Lamb has been rocking it, guys. I mean, what a great last 2 weeks last 2 games he's had. Against the Chargers, had a big game that day, and also, of course, his biggest day ever was against the Rams. NFL receiving leaders through Week 8, Tyreek Hill already over 1,000 yards. AJ Brown, our next opponent, he has 939 yards.
Damn.
Puka Nacua, who we just saw, he was actually, I think, leader. I think he was the leader but when we went into break, I think he was a leader in our bye week. He's in 3rd place now. Stephon Diggs, 748. DJ Moore, 691. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 665. Jamar Chase, 656 yards. Keenan Allen, 643. And in 8th place, it's our man, CeeDee Lamb. Again, he kind of disappeared for a couple games there, and now he's right back in it with these 2 big weeks he had. Last 2 big games he played in. 633 receiving yards. He's going to go way over that 1,000-yard mark. And then 10th place, Brandon Ayuk with 620 yards. The highest receiving grades this past weekend in the NFL in Week 8? A.J. Brown had an 89.5, a hair away from elite. CeeDee Lamb had a 90.6. So both these guys are the keys to each team's offenses. We'll be talking about this a lot more, trust me, throughout the week. But I'm just saying, guys, A.J. Brown, I said this last night, he's going to be one of the keys to stop. He's right now second best receiver by yardage, but maybe the best receiver right now in the NFL. And CeeDee Lamb, he'll say, and I agree, he can make a run at that top spot. I think he's getting closer every single day, every single week. So the Eagles got to find a way to stop CeeDee Lamb. We got to find a way to stop A.J. Brown. That's just the way it's going to be. Speaking of stopping A.J. Brown, I think you got to bring up this guy in the mix here, DaRon Bland. Because you look at the interception leaders through Week 8, number 1 is Geno Stone. He has 5 picks. Number 2 is DaRon Bland with 4 interceptions. And everybody after that has 3 or less in the NFL. So DaRon Bland's currently second place in interceptions. But when you look at interceptions through Week 8, the Dallas Cowboys cornerback here, number 26, DaRon Bland, has 4 picks this year. The entire New York Giants team has 4 interceptions this year. Just shows you DaRon Bland has as many picks as the entire team of the New York Giants. So, again, DaRon Bland is going to be one of the guys you got to watch. Of course, we know we got Stephon Gilmore, but do not overlook DaRon Bland. If you look at Brian Boldinger's kind of breakdowns, man, he put up like 4 plays that Deron Bland played in on top of that interception, and Bland was like wrecking it, knocking the ball away, just a nose for the ball. The reaction time, fantastic. And he's playing on the outside right now. He dominates in the inside. He's even better inside in the slot as our nickel corner, but he's dominating it now after having a little rocky start against the Cardinals. That first kind of quarter against the Cardinals, he's been lights out. So fantastic gaming right now for the man, Deron Bland. So great to see there on him. Now, I want to kind of still in the. I feel like this will be quicker today because we kind of talked about the trades, talked about some moves we made. But as we get close to this Eagle discussion, we're going to take a first look at this in a minute. I kind of got to throw in there something that Emmanuel Acho said, and he talked about Dak Prescott, and he said this quote: "The Cowboys let everyone know just how good they are when they're playing Cowboys football." And I kind of agree. I don't really like Emmanuel Acho, but I kind of agree with what he's saying. And I say Cowboy football is not really in the hands of Dak necessarily fully. It's a lot of that's in Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy started playing Cowboys football. Cowboys football is like aggressive down the field on offense, but not like we don't want to go Kellen Moore football. We want to go Cowboy football. That's efficient and aggressive. So it's a combination of this is the combination you want to see of the control of not having to attack constantly. You saw Dak having a lot of guys to dump the ball down to if there was no one open down the field. Guys, in previous seasons, under Kellen Moore, I know some of you guys still sucking on Kellen Moore's nuts. Kellen Moore didn't have a dump down option except for Zeke for a 2-yard gain. You see here, we had CeeDee Lamb, and he gave an option in the routes for CeeDee Lamb to not just get the ball, but get the ball and go up the field. And that's what we did this game. Sometimes it was a 6-yard play, and CeeDee Lamb took it farther. Sometimes it was a 4-yard play, and he took it 2 yards, and he went out of bounds, CeeDee Lamb, because it was a dump down option. But McCarthy wants to make sure we got some conservative play there, some efficient play, but the ability to attack down the field. I hope he stays with this, Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. I hope they stay with this. Dak continues to use his legs, put his input into this offense. McCarthy, keep going this direction. Last night, I'm sorry, let me go back to what Emmanuel Acho said, because he said, when the Cowboys playing Cowboy football, he also added this, quote, Dak Prescott put up 4 passing touchdowns against a Rams team that only gave up 4 passing touchdowns all season. And it's weird to me to say that because to hear Emmanuel Acho say that because the Rams don't have a good secondary. But, the fact that we were able to slice and dice them, a team that doesn't really give up the touchdowns, they're not that good in the secondary, but they didn't give up many touchdowns. Like I said, 4 all year. Dak Prescott put up 4 in one game against the Rams. So Emmanuel Acho brought up a good point there, and he added, when the Cowboys are rolling, they're impossible to stop. And I think that he means against his little fucking 49ers and his Eagles and whoever else they fucking sucking on. So, again, I can't hate on Acho this one here. He actually was being kind of honest. But, again, we know he usually, by the end of the week, he'll have something negative that's not even negative. It's just, like, not even real. It's just his opinion over a fact. So we'll see what happens when it comes to their discussion. I don't really listen to them. I just heard this through the grapevine. Now, coming into Sunday, what was the main thing I talked about yesterday when it came to this offense? Now, we know about Dak and his legs. We know about the 3-and-1. We know about the play action. We talked about all these things, but I'm going to stay on what I think is the biggest improvement. And trust me, there's a lot of other improvements here. We talked about the spread offense. You guys brought that up yesterday. The spread offense kind of opened up some route holes there and some lanes for Dak to kind of look and attack and be more aggressive. First time we've seen it all year was against the Rams. So I want to go back to the main thing I think was really the biggest bump for the Cowboys. Coming into Sunday, we talked about this exactly same thing yesterday. I'm going to bring it up again. The Cowboys all year used motion at the snap, meaning while you've got a guy moving across the line of scrimmage, not setting up and then standing still, but moving across the line of scrimmage. We only did that 33 times the entire season. That is a rate of 5.5 times per game. That is way too little. Not nearly enough. Against the LA Rams, the Cowboys used motion at the snap 18 times. 18 times, guys. I mean, if you do the math, that's 15 more times, and we tied the amount we did all year with the other 6 games that we played. So you can see that is the kind of rate we want to see. Maybe not every game at that very high rate of 18 times, but let's go 12, 14, 15, in that range. Oh, speaking of that range, we got Skeptical Fan dropping a little gift here for Lethal L. Congrats to him. as he gives a Navy Blue Crew membership to the family.
Drop them if you got them.
Ooh, yeah. You know, the new one's out right now. The anti-Philly style. I'll show you guys what it's going to... In a minute, I'll show you guys the emojis available, and you guys can drop them as well. You maybe have trouble seeing them sometimes, but I'll make sure you see what you're dropping. Much love to Skeptical Fan, dropping that gifting membership. And, baby, he's at 5 on it, right? He got 5 on it.
That's right.
For the last week and a half. As far as gifting memberships, 4 up on Jason Renfro. So, let me update the board here in a minute, baby. Hit up the chat if you can.
Now, Pioneer thinks that Dak took over play calling. I don't think so, but again, he's obviously more involved than he ever has been before. So maybe that just means that for some games, he literally is more involved. You know?
I disagree with that. With the Dak took over. Sorry, he took over play calling. I think what he did is just said, I'm going to be more mobile. And they said they practiced this the last 2 weeks. They practiced Dak's mobility. And McCarthy is starting to either allowing it or has been waiting for Dak to do this. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of those two. And Dak's using it. And it's not just Dak Prescott, though. It's not just Dak, because Dak can be mobile. And we've seen him be mobile before. And against the Cardinals, there was still nobody open. Why? Is it because Dak sucks? No. It's because the fucking play calling sucked. So Dak Prescott has been involved in the play calling. He gets the credit, and he gets also the blame when it comes to some of the play calling stuff. McCarthy gets most of it when it comes to that. Most of the credit, most of the blame. You heard me this week. Shout out McCarthy for what he did in the sense of allowing Dak more aggressive offensive plays. Doesn't matter who's calling it. It's the allowance or the usage of these aggressive plays down the field, attacking more down the field and passes, not being so conservative. And it kind of correlates, not correlates, but you got to intertwine that with Dak Prescott's ability to be mobile and move around. When you have that, you got guys attacking. You saw that Brandon Cooks touchdown. Oh, that was a fade. But you see that second CeeDee Lamb touch. Was it the second one? I think it was the second CeeDee. That CeeDee Lamb touchdown, he was wide open in the end zone. That's because Dak broke the pocket and scrambled and extended the play, and boom. Guys, when you use motion at the snap, by the way, you actually are catching guys kind of off. I don't want to say off their route, but off their coverage a little bit. They're going to be a little behind in coverage, especially when they're in man. But it also spreads out the way the players have to stand sometimes, and it opens up some windows. Here's the thing. Let me give you the positive on this motion. Listen to this. Because we did it 18 times. Did it work? Seemed like it would have, right? But here I went looking for this, and I think John Owning said this. The Cowboys posted a positive EPA, expected play per attempt, on 66.7% of their plays when we used motion at the snap. When that motion was used, guys, we had a 67% positive, like over expectations here, positive play. Almost 7 out of 10 plays when we use motion, it's a good, it's going to be a better play than expected. It's going to be it's not going to be a 3-yard gain, it's going to be a 7-yard gain. So you're obviously making your offense immediately better as soon as you run a little more motion than 5 times a game. Again, maybe not 18, but let's go 15, 12, 8, I don't know, but not fucking 5 anymore. Stop that shit, Mike McCarthy. And in total, the Cowboys finished with a 50.8% positive EPA rate on the entire day. So again, it's about a 17% difference on the average of the day and just isolating the motion plays. That's how much better it is. 15%, 17% better. Production, efficiency, everything when you're running motion at the snap. It's obvious the Cowboys need to continue to lean on motion going forward. Guys, trust me. Watch the replays. Watch what Brandon Cooks looks like in motion and what the defensive player is doing. How they get open. Our other offensive players our guys get open a lot when we're running a lot of motion there. So Schottenheimer actually touched on that as well. I know I touched on it the other day on what Schottenheimer said, but let me actually add to that a little bit here on what Brian Schottenheimer kind of, I guess I'll add to what he added upon here when he said this about motion. Quote, the cool thing about that motion is that it creates windows. It creates windows in the defense, guys. Schottenheimer said, quote, it's nothing crazy, the motion. It's truly a short motion in or short motion out, but it does open up windows in zone coverage. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Whether it's man or zone, let's be real, man. You got a guy dragging. If the play's through the out, you're going to have an advantage on a motion play when you're going to the outside in motion. And he's saying, Schottenheimer's saying this, when you got a guy snapping the ball while you're in motion, it creates windows. It opens up windows in the zone defenses. Do we have to talk about this anymore? It's pretty simple. It's pretty obvious. We need to stay with motion. Motion rocks the ocean. Let's go. The motion of the ocean is what we got to do here. And that is a lot of guys. I don't care who the fuck it is. I like guys like Turpin and Cooks, the smaller, faster guys. You can use CeeDee Lamb. You can hand the ball off to him. You can throw it to him. We were I think we had 2 touchdowns off motion. It was like a 9 out of 12 in completions for Dak with motion. It was a lot of great numbers here when we running guys in motion. The first time we did this all fucking year like this. So to me, without question, guys, and Schottenheimer's saying it opens up windows in the zone defense. If the Eagles are using zone, use motion. We'll open up some windows for Dak Prescott, making things easier, as it should be for your offense. You want to make it easier for your offense. Use motion. Schottenheimer, McCarthy, open up your ears, guys. Open up your goddamn ears. Schottenheimer said this, quote, "We always talk about complementary football. I was just proud of our guys for going out there and putting a drive together. I can't remember all the plays that showed up, but there was no question that they wanted to go up and put some points up on the board and get some momentum back on the game. Our defense has done that a million times this year. It was cool to see us feed off of them and them feed off of us." Yeah, say it again, baby. Complementary football, right?
Complimentary.
We heard Brandon Cook say it after the game there on the closed circuit Cowboy TV. Again, 100%, guys. This team here, offensively kind of woke up a little bit, and I think it's more about the play calling, the coaching that improved here. Schottenheimer, McCarthy, and Dak's legs mobility, but it's the bigger portion of things I think was Schottenheimer noticing some of the motion stuff, complementary football, and again McCarthy attacking more aggressively down the field with the play calls. Fantastic there. Speaking of fantastic, baby. The man who's leading the whole crew here on the overall board. You see him right there above us. Amazing Games from the West Coast. And much love to him taking Mark Hovsepian to 60 points. And he also adds, guess what, baby? Another raffle entry.
There you go. Amazing Games.
What did the man
Shout out to
say?
you. Appreciate you. He said, "My MCF, what's up? Cali West Coast love.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is an imbecile."
Oh, I hear you, bro. I hear you. We've said this for years and years. I think we said it year 1 on MCF. But I've been saying this before we had MCF. Jerry Jones has his issues, and it seems the issues are getting worse and worse after that DeMarcus Lawrence, gaffe in his Ring of Honor ceremony there. But again, I do think that, if Jerry Jones was just stayed as an owner and the face of the franchise and talking to the media, if he stayed like that, this would be a much, much, much better team.
Oh, yeah.
Built-wise, we might have had a Super Bowl or 2 under our belts the last 27 years. Yeah, Jerry Jones has hurt this team in many, many ways. He's helped the value of the team for his pockets. He's helped, bring in a brand new hotel on top of a stadium, basically what it looks like. That's great. But has that helped us win any Super Bowls? The fucking answer is fucking no. So, yeah. Jerry Jones, if he'd be great just as an owner, not owner/G fucking M. That's my issue. By the way, baby, got to bring it up. The Lunatics raffle here, as we get a little break here before we get into dive deeper into the breakdown of the Eagle game, the first look. Let's talk about the Lunatics raffle here, baby. It's coming up at halftime of the Eagle game this weekend on Sunday afternoon. Right? I kept saying night. So some people, it might be the night like us here in the East Coast. By the time it's over, it's night. But at halftime of this game, we're going to raffle off 2 jerseys, 1 each to 1 lucky winner. And you get to choose which player you want. You see a lot of options right there, but there's many more than just that. There's some old schoolers, some legends, Hall of Famers, new guys here you might want to add to your collection. A lot of different styles. We got different styles of a lot of different players and repeating some of our players. Color Rush, old school, the throwback ones, Navy, Blues, the 90s throwbacks. You see them up there with Irvin and Aikman and Emmitt Smith. So you guys see it here. How do you get in this thing? $10. That's all, man. You saw Amazing Games dropping in there.
It's cumulative, so all the little drops add up.
Yeah.
But yes, guys, you drop 10, bam, you have an entry. Every additional $10 after that, guess what? Bam, another entry.
Yeah, stackable entries this time, so you can get a better chance to try to win one of these fantastic jerseys. Like you just saw Amazing Games drop another 10. He just got another raffle entry. He's currently, by the way, not just leading the overall board, but leading the raffle entry number, I guess you could say right now. And by the way, baby, a bonus to that on top of a perk. If you're in the Navy Blue crew, at silver level, star level, over everything level, you get a bonus, one more bonus, just you get a bonus entry, just like that, guys. So, again, when you add it all up, you know, right now I think Amazing Games got 6 total raffle. He's leading the pack. He's got 6 chances, right? 6 different. He upped his chances 6 more times, I guess you can say, than everybody else, you know, than anybody who has 1 or none, to get one of these 2 jerseys. I mean, you're gonna get it, but it definitely ups your chances to get one. Much love to the Amazing Games in the house. Much love to you. Appreciate you. And extra special shout out to the Lunatic for making this thing possible at all. Taking it over a 2-week span, double weeks, double jerseys, getting raffled off here on My Cowboys Family. So,
and by the way, guys, yes, real quick, happy Halloween.
Yes.
To everybody. Hopefully everyone had fun tonight, trick-or-treating, you know, doing the Halloweening thing. And if you didn't, maybe you passed out candy, maybe you stayed home and did nothing.
You passed out some candy.
So, yes, it was pretty nice to actually hand out candy.
First time we can do
not
that.
Just leave a bucket on the porch.
Yeah, first time we can do that, actually, you know, because the kids are getting older now. They can do their own, you know, they can do their own ways there. So, yes, guys, thank you, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Halloween and survived it.
Yeah. So, by the way,
yeah.
SnugX saying Jerry Jones is a legend.
He's a legend for, let's see, buying the Cowboys. He's a legend for putting Jimmy Johnson in there as the GM for the Cowboys. A legend for letting Jimmy Johnson do his thing there in those first 4 years, 5 years. And after that, the legend kind of started to erode by parting ways with his ego, parting ways with Jimmy Johnson. Sorry, SnugX, we disagree here. Parting ways with Jimmy. And I know they both parted ways. Agreed to part ways, but come on. Jerry Jones wanted to get the credit for Jimmy Johnson's work. Two egos involved there, but yeah, sorry. Jerry Jones started eroding the star at that point, and then making a great move, getting Deion Sanders in the house. So I give Jerry Jones credit for that move, but the rest of the team is Jimmy Johnson's, even when he wasn't there. Got our 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years in the 90s, and then crickets. Jerry Jones fucking up deals like Joey Galloway, Roy Williams Jr., and many others that he's shit the bed on, overpaying guys, paying guys too late, paying injured guys. Jerry Jones is the reason why. One of the main reasons why we've been held back from, let's just say, the NFC Championship game. How about that? I didn't say Super Bowl, but NFC Championship game. We haven't got there since the great years of Jimmy Johnson, the real JJ, the real guy who's leading the way for that star, at least back in the 90s. Now, Jerry Jones got his hands involved. He's a legend. He's an NFL legend for what he's done in the league, what he's done with making money. That's great. But not winning Super Bowls. He's not a legend there. Sorry, Snug. We disagree there. We disagree. So, let me roll back here. Rolling out. Oh, awesome. That's so great to see other people were handing out candy and had a good one. So. Yeah, awesome. Well, happy Halloween. And hopefully, maybe one day we'll see, what's his name? Old Jera. Jump back on here and talk some football. You know, this guy. Jerry Jones with the red eyes. Hey, since we spoke to him, we haven't lost. Go Cowboys.
Good point.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, one last thing I want to say before we switch gears to the Eagles and finish up here strong on My Cowboys Family on a shorter night.
That's like saying like Barry Switzer got you Super Bowl. Snug.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry. Well, that was an inherited situation. And 99.9% of that came from the actual smart people doing their thing.
Yeah, the football people.
You know, that 1% was, oh yeah, maybe do this. And it kind of worked out.
Listen, Jerry Jones, 100%. Jerry Jones is 100% involved with all 3 Super Bowls. Involved for sure, because he's an owner. He's signing the checks. He's approving the deals that Jimmy Johnson said, let's do. So I agree with the fact that he has input. He has credit to be given, but Jerry Jones wanted all the credit. And that's where Jerry Jones is wrong. Jimmy Johnson just wanted to get his due credit.
Now, where Jerry gets 100,000% of the credit, and I have no problem admitting this, is
getting AT&T Stadium built.
Well, that too. I guess I wasn't thinking about that. I meant more in the team perspective. Yeah. He did manage to turn the financial aspect of it around, and that has allowed us to continue to witness our Dallas Cowboys and experiencing our Dallas Cowboys because, yeah, we understand the financial aspects of the team. We're not doing so hot before he bought them and that he was able to, again, really turn that ship around. So, good for him. So,
yeah, and again,
I'm just saying, we wouldn't have our Cowboys as we know them now if Jerry hadn't at least, fixed the financial side of things and made those adjustments.
A lot of that was the Super Bowls, and then he brought in Bill Parcells to get the stadium built. Snug X, he's still kind of throwing in there something I've heard a couple other people say about.
Well, why didn't Jimmy win in Miami then?
I've heard about that. I've heard that go-to goalpost move. Listen, Jimmy Johnson's situation in Miami different than the Cowboys. All right, Jimmy Johnson built it up from nothing, built it up from scratch, and the Dolphins. I don't know what the background was for the Dolphins as far as what they allowed him to do. Wayne Huizenga. I didn't study them, so I don't know. I didn't really care. My point is with the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson's the legend, not Jerry Jones. Jimmy Johnson's the legend for the Cowboys over Jerry Jones. And when you look at the Dolphins,
you almost said Jerry Johnson.
When it comes to the Dolphins, I don't know what happened. There's a lot of things that happened, but you just can't say it's all. Oh, well, Jimmy Johnson, he did it here, but he couldn't do it there. Why? It must have been Jerry Jones. That sounds kind of lame to say. I think we know that Jerry Jones allowed Jimmy Johnson to do the trades, to do the to get his scouts in there, to get his coaches in there, to get the players he wanted in there. So in that sense, Jerry gets all the credit for allowing Jimmy Johnson to do that. I don't know what the restrictions were, or if any were on Jimmy Johnson when he was in Miami. But what I'm trying to say is, just because you allowed a guy to do his thing and he did his thing fantastically, you don't get the credit for that, Jerry. You get the credit for allowing him. You don't get the credit for doing it. That's the difference. I don't care about the Dolphins. I don't care. I don't know what the reasons were. They had a shitty quarterback. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think about the Dolphins. I think about Jimmy Johnson with the Cowboys, and I realize there's dominance there that was ripped away from us much earlier than it should have been because of Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones, of course, after those years of no Jimmy Johnson, guess what happened? After Jimmy Johnson left, guess who was the GM? The moment Jimmy Johnson left. Who was the GM? Jerry Jones. Maybe that's why Jimmy left. I don't know. He saw the writing on the wall.
So Eric Black, what's up? Much love. He said, crazy part is you recognize where you messed up and you still won't correct your wrongs.
Yep, and that's Jerry Jones' problem there. The way
Talk about pride. He said, shake my head.
Ego. That ego, the Jerry Jones ego. I mean, he said he'll do anything to win a Super Bowl, but he won't do that.
So
he won't take away the GM role that he so proudly wants to make sure everyone knows that he's involved with. That's why it's very important to Jerry Jones to win with his guys. So we can all say, see, Jerry Jones is a little bit, we took the tour there at the Star, and not much Jimmy. You guys saw it with us. How much Jimmy Johnson stuff was in there? A picture here, a comment there. There was no Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones has an ego issue because he knows Jimmy Johnson is the legend. And he still knows that Jimmy Johnson, every single fan, except for Snug X, gives the credit to Jimmy Johnson for the Cowboys' success, not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has hurt the Cowboys and the successfulness we could have had. So Jerry Jones knows this, and every day, it's why he keeps Jimmy Johnson out the Ring of Honor, because he knows that he has to win one on his own. Jerry has to win a Super Bowl without the Jimmy Johnson attached name to it. I think for Jerry Jones to let go of the dislike, the hate, the ego that he has against Jimmy Johnson, and not letting him. I guarantee you see a lot more pictures, a lot more Jimmy Johnson's things at the Star and in these tours. If we had won a Super Bowl by now, under Jerry Jones's reign, like solo reign, not under the GMing of Jimmy Johnson. That's the key there. So, and everybody knows it. Even with that Steelers Super Bowl we won against the Steelers, our last one, everybody knows. Was Jimmy Johnson's players, scouts, coaches. The only guy that was added there, and I give credit to him, is Deion Sanders. That was added by Jerry Jones. Outside of that, it was all the GMing of Jimmy Johnson. Legend versus non-legend. When it comes to Jimmy Johnson, legend. Jerry Jones, non-legend. In the football realm, in the actual footballing part. When it comes to the NFL part, oh yeah, he's a legend. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend because he helped the NFL make a shitload of money. And he helped change the game from that perspective. But he changed the game for us, not winning Super Bowls. That's what we all dislike Jerry Jones. Everybody, well, except for Snug X, of course. But you know why he's here. You know why he's here.
Oh, so let me see here. By the way, Frank Moyer, I have to read this comment, right? Especially considering who we're playing this weekend. He said, "What's up, MCF and MCW? Hopefully you're doing well.
Yeah,
you ready
the battle's
for
on.
a slice of humble pie and a classic knockdown, drag out, down to the last play fight on Sunday?"
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I know I am.
Oh, yeah, you know we are.
Born ready.
Whatever happens, I believe the Cowboys will come better this time. We'll bring it better than they did against the Niners. That was an embarrassment. So, hey, you know what? Offense, defense, what else? Special teams. That's your kind of favorite thing.
Yes, it is.
You heard Turpin, against the Rams. He finally broke out of his little shell there and got some good returns. One was a touchdown, was called back by Deshaun Wright. But Turpin, fell to his knees in sadness when he saw that there was a flag on the touchdown, on his punt return for a touchdown, and he got taken off the board. That was 50 points we were going to hit there. But according to John Fossil, Bones, he was quick to shake it off. Here's what Fossil said, quote, "Kevontae Turpin's poise is outstanding. We get off the field after the punt. We get off the field after the punt return that got called back. Deshaun Wright is over there, is just killing himself like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. But Kevontae Turpin says, hey, you're over there competing. We got your back. No big deal." It was good banter that went back and forth. It was cool to see Terp's poise in that moment. That was his reaction to it, and he was all smiles. Great to hear Kevontae Turpin, kind of being very, team-oriented here. And look, we saw his anguish on his face when he dropped to the ground on his knees after return punt, and it didn't go. It was a penalty on Deshaun Wright. Nothing to do with the return. Had to do with a block in the back or down on the gunner situation. A stupid penalty by Deshaun Wright. And it took it, Turpin earned that entire return, though. Still didn't matter. And he was upset about it on the field. When he got to the sideline, he's like, listen, we got your back, Deshaun. It happens. You're competing. Let's keep it going. And again, that's what Bones is saying. You got to give credit to Kevontae Turpin about his attitude about that.
That type of growth and maturity as well. You can't really
Agreed.
just go out there and buy that. And it also is kind of like implied, at least to me, that was not maybe necessarily the case last year. Not to disparage him, but just to show the growth and development that he's had, obviously.
Agree. And what a great team player here for us. Maybe need him a little more on offense, but he's getting so close to getting his first punt return, kickoff return, touchdown in the NFL in a regular season game. And Bowens is just kind of backing him up on that. So hopefully we'll see him do that sooner than later. Now, let's talk about our opponent here, guys. You know how we start this thing here. You know how we do this. We got to cook up these fucking Eagles. Our next opponent, the Eagles, big game here. Again, us versus them in their home, afternoon game in Philly. And remember, guys, the winner of this game has the inside track to maybe get that home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So keep that in mind. On top of the NFC East, maybe the whole NFC. So it's something just to keep in mind of here. And you look at their roster for the Eagles. Of course, Jalen Hurts, quarterback. You got DeAndre Swift, who they just picked up this offseason at the draft day from the Detroit Lions. Who Swift is very good. Has been a very good season this year. You got tight ends Dallas Goedert, who's still behind Ferguson as tight ends for the NFC East, and Jack Stoll in there. You got receivers. The top receiver, one of the top receivers in the league, A.J. Brown. You got Devontae Smith. You got Almighty Zacchaeus, Brian Covey. These are the receivers. After the first two, he kind of drops off a little bit. And then their offensive line, which is monstrous. They are a really good offensive line, although they lost some people. They have Jason Kelce, of course, at center. Landon Dickerson at left guard. Jordan Mailata at the left tackle. Right guard, they got Sue Opeta. And right tackle, of course, the great Lane Johnson. So we're going to talk about this offense that they have versus our defense probably around Thursday. Stay tuned for that. When you look at their defense versus our offense, that's going to be tomorrow. But let me just go through some of their guys that they have. Edge rushers, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat. And behind them, they got Derek Barnett and Brandon Graham. They got 4 good pass rushers there at rotation, so we got to really watch that out. Inside, they have fantastic players. Of course, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis inside, Milton Williams, and Jalen Carter, who, by the way, I'm going to talk about him a little bit today. Jalen Carter, their first-round rookie pick, kind of comes in there. It kind of plays a rotational role, but he's been a big-time player for the Eagles, kicking it off this year. He's got a little injury issue. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then at linebacker position, they got Zach Cunningham. They picked up from Tennessee in the offseason, I think. Nakobe Dean, of course, he is starting now, by the way. Got him in the 5th round. I think they got him last year, or 4th round, I think, before we got Damone Clark. And then they also have in there Christian Elias, Nicholas Morrow, backup guys. Corner as far as their defensive backfield, Darius Slay, one of the best out there. James Bradbury, another one of the best out there. And nickelback, cornerback Bradley Roby, who is kind of right now a little banged up. He might not be. We'll have to talk about that later on in the week as far as the injury situation. Josiah Scott is their backup there in the slot. That could be that nickel cornerback could be the whole determination of this game. We'll take a look at that a little closer, tomorrow, the next day, and beyond, on Friday, and the matchups and stuff, because that nickel cornerback situation is where you'll see a lot of CeeDee Lamb cooking some Eagle meat. At safety, they have Reed Blankenship as one of the safeties, and then they got Kevin Byard as their other safety, the brand new guy they brought in there from Tennessee, of course. Sidney Brown is their backup there. They got Kylie Ringo as a corner. That's their offense right there, and their defense in a nutshell. We're not going to go into that right now. I am going to show you a very interesting Eagle fan. One of the shit eaters. He's eating horse shit. Now, this is the kind of fans.
I thought that was just a normal Philly fan.
It is. I'm saying this is the kind of fans the Philadelphia has. Shit eaters. You gotta do. Listen, no offense to the ladies out there, but the e-girls, it ticks them off. It ticks them off a little bit. And then, of course, when they cry, you give them a couple Kleenex so they can wipe their tears, and you can tell them, hey, cry, Eagles, cry. On the road to misery. So, guys, you got the emojis. Drop them like it's hot in there if you got them. These are the 4 you got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck Philly. So, on that note, going through some of these quick little first look as we wrap it up here. What's going on for this Eagle game? I'm going to put the cooked up Eagle here. Cowboys and Eagles square off in a big showdown, of course, Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. The Eagles are the best team currently in the NFL with a 7-1 record in the NFL. Cowboys are trying to keep pace. We're 5-2, right? We still got it. That's we got to get a win on their bye week. If we win this game, we're the better team. So again, the Cowboys trying to keep pace, 5-2. But the Cowboys have only defeated in those 5 wins this year. Only defeated one team currently that has a winning record, and that one team are the New York Jets, who are 4-3 right now. So this is one of the biggest tests of the season for the Cowboys by far. Of course, the Niners a couple weeks ago, but this is definitely one of the biggest tests for the Cowboys this year. And with the Eagles being in the NFC East, the Eagles owning the best record in the NFL, it makes sense. This is the biggest game so far, one of the biggest games of the year. The Eagles have had close games in their 7 wins, close games. But for the most part, they've kept winning. The Eagles own the NFL's best record. They had that comeback win against Washington on Sunday. They completed a series sweep of the Commanders. We still got to play the Commanders. The Eagles have played 5 games. 5 games that were decided by 1 score. And in those 5 games, they have a 4-1 record. So they've been winning those close games, but maybe they're going to have to play a little tougher team this time like the Cowboys. We'll see how they do against us. Rather than playing, teams like the Commanders twice. So now Jimmy Johnson, guys, he definitely spoke on this here today. And let me actually throw him up on the screen for you guys, because he did speak on the injury updates and this Eagle matchup here coming up this weekend, this Sunday, when he was on the Shannon RJ show on 105.3 The Fan. Here's what he said. Quote, yeah, this is easy for me to say, but this is serious shit that we're dealing with up there, meaning the Eagles. We've got to really have our game face on. Philadelphia is a tough place to play to get your momentum going, but it's all there. To me, this is all about just what the NFL can be. So, again, Jerry Jones knows how rough it gets up in Philly, but he knows that we can overcome it. I know, personally, we can overcome this, because I know we've overcome it before. We beat the Eagles. We know the Eagles. So even though the Niners might not be the better team, they seem to know us better sometimes. We know the Eagles better than most other teams in the NFL know them. So we will have the best chance to beat them and handle it and beat them with efficiency. And I think we can do that. We can beat them and not worry about, here they come back, because our team is solid as much as theirs. So we'll see the true test here this weekend. Now, Jerry Jones spoke about the injury situations. So 2 of our players on the offensive line, the left tackles, Tyron Smith with the neck stinger and Chuma Adoga with the low ankle sprain. Here's what Jerry Jones said, and it's good news. Quote, I actually think it's more than likely that both of them will be available on Sunday at the Eagles. Certainly one of the 2 will be available, should be available Sunday, and both maybe. Do you know what that means? Yeah, so that means that we're going to have at least one of these two guys starting at left tackle, Chuma Edoga or Tyron Smith. That's what it feels like to me. And maybe both guys, according to Jerry Jones, will be out there on that field. So, by the way, Edoga, he did mention, has a low ankle sprain, which is, again, kind of reconfirming that. We knew that was the case. And, good to know that things are still trending that direction. Like I said to you guys yesterday, we heard from McCarthy, Tyron Smith will not practice on Wednesday, tomorrow, but they will try to get him there for the biggest practice of the week, which is Thursday, assuming he does that practice and doesn't take any steps back. He should be starting. He should be in this game. Tyron Smith should be playing against the Eagles on Sunday afternoon. So there's Jerry Jones's 2 cents on things. When we heard about him earlier on the trade deadline and not trading. We heard about him about the Eagle game here and also about the injury situations. And, the guys that have to keep Dak Prescott alive in this game are going to be the offensive linemen, like Chuma Edoga and or Tyron Smith, our starter. The Eagles defensive coordinator, Sean Desai, I think that's how you say his name, he spoke about the Cowboy offense, specifically about Dak Prescott, what he has seen from Dak Prescott this season. So without any further ado, baby, I'm curious to know what the Eagles defensive coordinator thinks about our quarterback, Dak Prescott.
He said, yeah, kind of like what he's been in the bulk of his career in terms of he's operating in a highly efficient way right now, getting the ball out fast, and he's decisive with where he wants to go with the ball, and he's accurate. He's throwing the ball on point to where the offensive structure is asking him to throw the ball, so he's doing a good job. Then, the one thing you can't ever sleep on him, we learned this a long time ago, and you guys have seen it way more than me. His legs. He can still create plays and make plays from a scramble position as a thrower and a runner, so he's playing at a high level.
Yeah, again, exactly what you've been saying pretty much since last year about Dak running the ball more. What I've been saying about Dak his whole career is just using more moving, mobility, extending the play. I don't need him running down the field for 20 yards. I just need him going, extending the play, showing the dangerous, and that is where you get the best of Dak. Dak can attack. We've seen it done. McCarthy wanted to play tiddlywinks and conservative shit for the first 5 weeks of the season, 6 weeks of the season. Now we're seeing McCarthy wake up after this bye and let Dak attack with more plays that are attacking down the field. And, of course, allowing Dak has to get blamed for not using his legs as well on his own. He's finally using his legs. They're practicing this in practice. Dak's putting his 2 cents in this, and now we're seeing the complete picture again of Dak Prescott. When you give him the best, when you scheme for your quarterback, you help your offense and you help your quarterback, you're going to have better games from your offense. So McCarthy's finally waking up, and the Eagles are seeing this. The Eagles, I will say, Desai is kind of read exactly what you've been saying about moving, the mobility, big things there. That the Eagles are going to have to stop with Dak Prescott. They have to, they're going to bring the pressure. They got a good defense, and they're going to bring pressure. So Dak's got to be mobile, be ready. We'll talk a lot more about that in the next 2 days, in the matchups and such. Now, what about team stats? For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, he's got 10 touchdowns this year, 5 interceptions, 1,637 yards passing. Pollard, 108 carries this year for 425 yards and only 2 touchdowns. And CeeDee Lamb having a great year, 46 catches, 633 yards, and 3 touchdowns so far. This game here right now, of course, the Eagles are favored by 3. Whatever. We're the underdogs. That's fine. And I look at some of the team stats here for the Cowboys versus the Eagles. I look at our team stats. I'm going to look at our team stats first, though. Passing yards, total yardage on offense, 355 yards per game. Yards passing, 238. That's gone up a lot from where it used to be. It was like at 214 or something. Now it's up to 238, and it's going to be going. I think it's going to still be able to go up. McCarthy wants to pass. Yards rushing, 117.1 yards per game. And, hey, some of those are at the feet of Dak Prescott as well. Now, when you look at the Eagles' defense, they allow 332.6 yards per game. That's about right there in our wheelhouse. We can get there, our offense. And, again, their yardage allowed when it comes to passing yards, they allow 267 yards in the air. That is a lot of yards allowed, guys. A lot of yards allowed. So if you want to actually have a chance to beat this Eagle team, it's going to be through throwing the ball in the air, a lot of this. Keep that in mind. So rushing the ball against this Philly defense, running the ball 65.5 yards per game. That is it. I'm willing to bet that's probably number one in the NFL. So they stopped the run, something we really don't do very well at, and they came not really that great stopping the pass. We'll dive into this throughout the week. Now, flipping it around, looking at our defense, we allow 303 yards per game. That is it. Very good. One of the best in the league. Passing, remember, they allow 267 yards in the air. We allow 194 yards. That is it. One of the best in the NFL as well there. We don't let people throw the ball on us. We're very good at that. A lot of that has to do with the pass rush. Let me get Dak out of there because we're flipping it around here. So when you look at the rushing yards that we allow, that's one of our bigger issues, but we've been pretty good this year. Overall, we only allow 108.9 yards per game. We're nothing close to what the Eagles allow. They allow only 65 rushing yards per game. But you see how our defense is playing. Again, we will be able to slow down their offense. But how does their offense do? Because Jalen Hurts over there with DeAndre Swift running the ball, A.J. Brown at receiver, they're totaling almost 400 yards per game. 399.8 yards per game. They throw the ball for 267 yards. It's what's going to break here, guys. 267 for them. We allow in 194. And yards rushing, we know they try to run with DeAndre Swift a lot. They use Hurts. 132.3 yards per game is what they run for. We, again, allow 108. So we got to definitely slow them down. We got to bring them down to that 100-yard mark for the overall game for these Eagles. And we got to slow down DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift has 117 carries. So about what? About 9 more than Pollard? Pollard has 423 yards. He has 571 yards and 3 touchdowns. So DeAndre Swift is a weapon for this Eagle team. Number 0. Can't forget that. A.J. Brown is a major weapon for the Eagle team. He has, again, CeeDee Lamb has 46 catches, 633 yards. A.J. Brown has 60 catches, 939 yards, second best in the league in that number, and 5 touchdowns in the air. So obviously A.J. Brown still, if you compare him straight up on stats, A.J. Brown's got a lot better stats right. I'd say about 6 or 7 receiver stats better than CeeDee Lamb. But you know what? CeeDee Lamb's trending up, and unfortunately so is A.J. Brown. So they're both battling it. Eventually probably a battle for that top spot there. So, when you look at all these guys, the guy who really stirs their coffee, I guess, I don't know if that's a actual term. But
it kind of sounds like a euphemism.
Jalen Hurts is the guy, right? He has 2,140 yards passing this year, threw for 13 touchdowns. Dak has 10. Dak has thrown 5 interceptions. Hurst has thrown 8 interceptions. So that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye on there. I think we can rattle him a little bit. It's definitely something that I think we can, get effective when he's not had a good year this year when it comes to, avoiding interceptions. So Jalen Hurts is going to be a key for the Eagles and a key for us to stop. Jalen Hurts is obviously a difference maker for the Eagles. And whether we like it or not, that's the way it is. In the meanwhile, I'll put this up there to represent Jalen Hurts. He's a difference maker, but again, not just as a passer, as a quarterback, but as a runner. He has 6, again, he's thrown for what was it? Whatever I said, touchdowns he threw in the air, 8 or whatever. But he has 6 rushing touchdowns on his own. Again, got to reiterate the fact that he has 8 interceptions, which is already more than he had last season in 15 games. He threw 6 last year in 15 games. In 9, I think, in 8 games, he's thrown 8 already. And Jalen Hurts has had 3 interceptions in the Eagles' only loss this year against the Browns. Who was it they lost to? They took the L against the on October 15th. Who was it that they lost to? Yeah, I forgot. Since you don't remember either.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I know. So again, a lot of players in the league. There's a lot of good players right now at the receiver, but who's dominating the most right now is A.J. Brown when it comes to wide receiver, guys. One of 5 players with 60 or more catches so far. A.J. Brown has 60 catches, like I said, for 939 yards, which is second in the NFL. 6 straight games, like I said earlier. You said it yesterday, actually, but he has 6 straight games of at least 125 receiving yards. That's a record currently. The Eagles are hopeful, by the way, for their injured defensive player, Jalen Carter, to get back in the rotation here. Again, they're hopeful he's returning. Rookie defensive tackle Jalen Carter. He had to leave the game against Washington with a back injury. They did an MRI and this week, and it showed that he doesn't have any kind of serious injury, which is good. And he's going to have a chance to play as early as this Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. So again, he was a number 9 overall draft pick of this last 2023 NFL draft. So as we're kind of wrapping it up here, the E-Gals, E-Girls, whatever. Guys, I wanted to make a couple comments. We're talking about their offense, and I want to just touch on something here when it comes to our defense versus their offense. First and foremost, and I see Micah here, but it's more about, the Eagles are not going to have to face Trayvon Diggs at all. Obviously, he's hurt. But I got to give it, I know you made a comment about it yesterday, Trayvon Diggs' son. Man, he's like a little Trayvon Diggs Jr. right there. Trayvon Diggs' son, Aiden, in a post-game interview after his Pee Wee football game he had, he talks about giving credit to his teammates, his opponent, sportsmanship at its finest, learning well from Trayvon Diggs, again, following in his father's footsteps. So the Eagles get a break. Of course, they know they don't have to face Trayvon Diggs, who really picked off Jalen Hurts a lot in his career. But now, Micah Parsons, guys, in the mix here. I just want to bring up one quick little last note about Micah Parsons here. So far this year, guys, another sack against the Rams continues to have a huge impact, as we all know. To me, I know Deron Bland, everyone wants to say he's the MVP of the team, but he's one of the MVPs. This guy on your screen is the reason why people get picks. This is the reason why he breaks down opposing offensive schemes and allows other guys to also get sacks and get numbers. Micah Parsons, another sack against this last week against the Rams. He had a sack on Matthew Stafford, and in his third season for Micah. Against the Eagles, he's had issues. He's had issues against the Eagles when it comes to Micah Parsons. He's never had a full sack against Philadelphia in his career. The only time he had a sack, it was a half sack. In his first game, I think the first game he played the Eagles back in his rookie year in 2021, he shared a sack with somebody else against the Eagles. So, again, Micah Parsons has never gotten a complete one full sack in any games against Philly. So we have to see. I would love to see Micah kind of wake up a little bit in this game. They have a damn good offensive line, the Eagles do, and a damn good scheme associated with that. So we'll see if Micah can break through this time around and get a full sack and maybe more. Maybe more. We'll see. But either way, guys, all these little things on their defense versus our offense, or our defense versus their offense, we'll discuss this a lot more. This is the first look. This is a little peek, a little sneak peek, guys. We're going to have much more on this matchup. Offense, defense, special teams, and keys to victory right around the corner here this week, guys, on My Cowboys Family. That's going to wrap it up for us here in a moment. I did want to do the shout-outs real quick and shout-out to everybody in the house who has not done this yet. Maybe missed it, maybe came in late, but we have a great new raffle going down here, a double jersey raffle, sewn and stitched. If you're not a Cowboy fan, you can still pick any team. If you don't like football, you can pick any sport. Cowboy Mosh, much love to him. But there's 2 jerseys available here and 2 different winners. The Lunatic making this happen on a double week stream, kind of a leaderboard. Double jersey raffle here at halftime of the Eagle game. Sewn and stitched, new school, old school, a lot of choices to choose from. I'm talking about like 20 to 30 different players or more. How do you get in this raffle? Simple. $10 holler, $10 drop. You can do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You get to over the last 2 weeks. If you get there, you get yourself a jersey. You get yourself a raffle entry. If you're in the membership, you get a bonus entry. Ups your chances to win this jersey. And you want to drop another 10? Guess what? You got another raffle entry, and you want another raffle entry. Every raffle entry, doesn't matter if it's the same person or not. You can stack them and stack them and stack them to up your chances to win one of these 2 fantastic jerseys we're going to raffle off here on Sunday afternoon, halftime of this Eagle game. And it's all brought to you here by The Lunatic. Can't do this without him. He was rocking it last year with a bunch of these. And you guys, we got so many different prizes won by a lot of different family members here in MCF. Can't say enough about how great The Lunatic's, giving love back here to the channel, to the family. So much love to Lunatic. And anybody who's in this raffle right now, thank you guys. Whether you're upping your numbers or just getting upping your raffle entries, or just getting your first entry. Much love and appreciation. I was just about to announce him, baby, because our current leaderboard, current leader on the overall leaderboard is this guy right here. Amazing games. And now he's leading not just the leaderboard, he's leading the amount of raffle entries he has for this, big time raffle. We got this double jersey raffle coming down. Much love to Amazing Games as he drops another $10 holler. Adds another raffle entry to his already, leader of the raffle. Again, once you win one, you get taken out of the raffle. But if Amazing Games right now has he has the best chances right now to currently win one of these 2 jerseys that we're going to raffle off on Sunday afternoon. So, baby, what did the man Amazing Games had to say with that $10 holler?
He said, "My MCF, it's Dallas time.
Hell yeah!
Cowboys 34, the Eagles 17.
I like that. That's That's good. I like that one. I like that number right there. Amazing. That seems it's very realistic. If we get control of this game, that's very realistic. Ooh, man, you get me revved up. I want to see this game now. By the way, Amazing Games with that $10 drop takes the man Mark Hosepian to 50 points on the stream boss. Much love to him. He's still repping that board there. And if you look at the gifting board, you got Jason Renfro, the gifting champion last week. Much love to the man, JR. And even though he dropped some love tonight here in the gifting side of things, he's still in second place on that board when it comes to the gifting champions, the gifting leaders, because Skeptical Fan dropping a couple himself. You know what he's doing, baby. He is currently leading the gifting membership board, trying to take that back from Jason Renfro. So much love there. And also, big shout outs to our sponsor of the week. You know why he's here, baby.
You know it.
SnugX. Much love. Who, by the way, is also currently the Cash App King for 11 straight weeks, Micah Parsons style. Oh, and I think we just got to add something to that, right? SnugX, he dropped a $10 holler, gets in the membership raffle, and gets on that Cash App board. Second place in the Cash App board. The $10 drop. What did he have to say, baby?
He said, "Go Cowboys."
Go Cowboys.
Always go Cowboys.
You know why Snug's here.
You know.
Appreciate you, Snug. And he is the king of the Cash App. He's back on that board. I think it was his first drop of the last 2 weeks. So that puts him still a little behind. Jason Rebel's trickling in ones and twos for the last 2 weeks. So he's got a little bit of a lead on you, Snug. But for Snug to continue to get that 12-week streak, that 3-month domination, he's just a little behind there on the top spot on Jason Renfro, who currently is our leader in the Cash App side of things. So much love to Snug. Much love to Jason Renfro. As this week continues, of course, we got breaking down offense, defense, special teams, and then keys, matchups. Maybe, I don't know if we got a little party this weekend for this game. But either way, then we got game day on Sunday afternoon. Cannot wait. Much love to Amazing Games. Much love to SnugX. Much love to those that dropped the love from above tonight, like Skeptical Fan and Jason Renfro. And much love to everybody representing on these boards here on My Cowboys Family. Baby, the floor is yours. Let's get those final shout-outs and lock it up for the night and say goodnight.
Shout out to Choctaw Montana 808.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Justin D, have a great night.
Place to be.
SnugX, you already know.
Snug. I love I love our banter. Even if we disagree about Jerry Jones, we know why we're here. We're here to represent that star for everything.
So, oh man, baby, again, we can't win. We either are Dak dick riders or fake fans because we're Dak haters or whatever the fuck it is. So,
well, who's saying that now, baby? You can't come out left field with that.
434 Cowboys said these people are the fakiest. I said that right. Fakiest Cowboy fans I know. Talk shit during games about Dak. I'm unsubscribing.
Bye.
$10 holler stealing real Cowboy fan slogans.
What? $10. I know we started that little.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that poster in AT&T Stadium that said $10 holler. I totally remember that. I was there.
Yeah. It's all right. Listen, we could have our haters. If the people are hating us, we're doing something right. Especially they're probably undercover Eagle fans. Remember that. There's a lot of angry Eagle fans out there.
Oh man, you know what? I needed that laugh. Yes. I needed that laugh today.
Yes.
So thank you there, 434 Cowboy.
Yeah,
so amazing games. Take it easy. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Dirty South MVP, of course. Amazing Games himself. Choctaw Montana 808.
Yes.
Much love. He's also having a great time tonight after that hilarious comment.
Now, I just want to say that, we will give you the truth on Dak Prescott when he fucks up. We're not going to suck his nuts like you do there, Mr. What's his name? 434 Cowboy. We're not going to suck his nuts because you love him. It's the star over everything and everyone. When you learn that, you'll be a true Cowboy fan. Until then, you're just an Eagle fan. Just wanted to clarify that. There you go.
So, anyway, Cactus G, of course, in the place to be. Josue Castillo, take it easy. Jason Renfro, much love. And yes, Jason Renfro, we have counted all your drops.
Yep. We're adding them. I mean, again, I'll give you the number in a minute, but more or less. But you are, I think third most right now. Second, you're on the board right there, on the overall board. I think you're in second place still, so you're in good shape there, Jason. We got you.
So let me keep going here. Justin D, have a great night too. SnugX, take it easy, man. Have a good one. We have Asmodeus in the house. He said that Micah's stat is going to change come this Sunday.
I agree. We got to get some sacks on Mr. Jalen Hurts against these Eagles.
By the way, I do have to give a shout out here as well to the man LT. Hopefully you and the family are doing well.
Yes.
Wishing you all the best until this Sunday, in which case I wish you all the worst. And then we can go back to wishing you all the best.
Yeah, no, we have much love for Mr. LT, who's a big-time Eagle fan. We won back and forth for 6+ years since the beginning here on My Cowboys Family.
Let me see. Hannibal King 47. Hopefully I said that right. Giacomo Fisher. Hey, long time no see there too.
Hey, in the house.
Let me see. Lethal. Thanks for joining us here. Cute Ball in the house. Apostolos, much love. Yeah, Dak said pour some honey all over him too. So let me see. Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett. MH in the house. Let me go back. Did I miss anybody? Cassie Stewart, of course, much love. Drums and Cowboys representing. Corporate Liaison.
Hey,
Eric Black.
Corporate in the house. Eric Black in the house. Much love. Aztec Aguilar in the house.
I think that's everyone.
I deleted the hater comment because, we don't take people with IQs under 50.
Let me see. So,
you caught that one?
Yeah, that took a second to register there.
Yeah, it has to be IQs 50 and up, and that's really low because we let a lot of Eagle fans in here.
There you go. So, but yes, Davey, with that said, just do a final little check, I think, in the Cash App before we wrap it up.
We'll do that right now and see who's representing, because we do have a very special $10 holler from the man who's currently leading the overall Cash App board. Not the Snug X. He's the Cash App king. It's the leader, Jason Renfro, dropping a $10 holler, dropping a big Go Cowboys, and adding another raffle entry to his name, which, by the way, baby, as you see him as the overall leader right now, the overall Cash App leader on the board, Jason Renfro is second on the overall board. Again, only behind Amazing Games. Amazing Games has the most entries right now in this raffle, and Jason Renfro has the second most entries in this raffle as we speak right now. Much love to both you guys, the leaders of the pack. If it went by the actual statistical numbers, those would be our two winners, right? But it's a raffle. Anyone can win it. You can win with 1. You can win it with 21 raffle entries. Either way, good luck to all. Much love. Amazing Games. Jason Renfro, Marco Seppian, and all the rest in the house. Snug X.
Stubby 1085. Much love. And yes, guys,
Jason
a quick
Renfro,
shout out to the
Skeptical.
Rangers. We were watching the game today. Honestly, it's been a pretty fun series.
Yeah.
So,
and it took a nice big lead, 10-0, and then they caught up a little bit, 10-7, won 11-7. Much love. They're up 3-1 in the series, and one more to be champions of MLB, of baseball, and, of course, representing that star for everything in Dallas. So that's awesome. We're hopeful. What's up, Stubby in the house? Yes. He's excited about the Rangers. Happy Halloween. Yes, we talked about the Rangers earlier on, and we'll talk about them when they win the whole damn thing.
Montana, I agree about Aubrey. Not just that, but is there such a thing as an all-pro kicker? Right?
Yeah, well, Pro Bowler,
is that possible? No, all-pro.
Oh, yeah.
All-pro.
They pick one all-pro kicker every year. One all-pro kicker, punter, returner.
I know where I'm casting my ballot.
Yeah, we will be. Listen, right now I'm hearing a lot of people, and I saw this in our comments section in our shorts when we posted a live Aubrey kicking those record-tying field goals. If he continues, I'm knocking on wood, but if he continues this path, he will make the Pro Bowl. He'll be the All-Pro kicker in the NFL. There's no one going to be better than him if he continues this streak, continues this kind of dominance. Again, baby, we were live and in full effect when we saw him kick the third longest field goal in Cowboys rookie history. Kicker, 58 yards, baby. It did not look like 58 to me. When he knocked it through, it was like, wow, really?
Yeah,
we saw the replay. It went over by 3 yards or something. But
at least for us, I thought it was more like a 50, 52 or something. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of looking at it, didn't really register that it was 58 until after they were like, oh, shit. But yeah. Real good time. Great
job from him knocking that through. And just the fact, it's weird to me thinking that we had a 58-yarder and McCarthy risked that streak on a 58-yard, really long bomb of a kick. Man, I'll tell you one thing. Aubrey shut me up, and I admit it, man. I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this guy hits every field goal. My hopes were true. My hopes came true, but I didn't think he was going to do this. I don't think anybody thought he was going to do this. We're just all happy he is doing this. Got to keep doing it. And, hey, by the time we get to the playoffs, that's when it's got to go through those uprights every single time. Every time. So, yes.
Yep, and Akeem Sears, thank you, much love. Yes. Mike Aldana, glad to be back.
Yes. We're back
So, and
rocking
yes,
the
thank
spot
goodness I do sound a lot better. I feel
Yes.
a lot better than last night. So,
Yeah.
you know.
That's what happens when you love your Cowboys. When you're in the freaking stadium, right? Even at the upper level, we're still screaming our heads off, even if they can't hear us. I mean, when they were kicking field goals, I'd try to yell as they're snapping that ball, so the Rams guy would maybe shank it, but too far away, I think, from the actual field of play, all the way up there. Oh, Hannibal King in the house.
Thank you.
Dropping that $2 J. Lou holler. Much love to Hannibal
Appreciate
King.
you, Hannibal. You know what he said?
I have a feeling it's going to be Go Cowboys somewhere. And they're not. What else what did Hannibal have to say, baby?
I got a good feeling about this game for the Cowboys.
We have, again, the way we play the Niners, I'd be a little more worried, although they're playing pretty shitty, right? But the way they play us, it's a little bit, iffy on that. You got to be a little more nervous. Against the Eagles, the Cowboys, doesn't matter if the Eagles are great, the Eagles suck. If we're great, if we suck, there's always a battle between us and the Eagles, and we know them, they know us. It's not gonna be no blowout going on here. It should not be. And I truly believe our Cowboys know this team so well that we will be able to, if there's a mistake, we can overcome it. It's not gonna be a snowball effect like against the Niners. So I am with you right there, Mr. Hannibal King, 47. Cowboys, I think, have a real chance here to again, I don't want to do what we did against the Niners and kind of overhype it, but a very important game. I think the Cowboys do have a chance not just to, stay in the game, but win the game and have the inside track to that number one seed in the NFC East. In the NFC. We have the inside track to the NFC East as well, but that means it usually will mean if the Lions lose one more and they play us, that's the only tough team the Lions got right now is us. And towards the end of the year, we basically, if we beat the Eagles, we technically control our own destiny for the number one seed.
That's right.
A little early, halfway through the year, but that's the facts. Those are the facts. So very, very interesting there. Much love, Hannibal King, 47. Anybody else maybe as I update the board here?
I want to read this final comment by Lethal because he said, MCF, do y'all realize that 2 of our best players are undrafted out of the USFL? Can you name them? Because they have something in common.
Yep, it's Cavante. Isn't it Cavante Turpin?
Well, I know Turpin's the obvious one.
And I thought Aubrey was the XFL. I thought, right? So who's the other Why do I not USFL? I'm trying to think. Why do I not know this? I can't wait to hear what the answer is. If it's not Aubrey and Cavante Turpin, they're both special teams. So hit me with the answer. It's a good question. If I'm wrong,
is it one of our newer pickups or something? I don't think so.
Maybe. I mean, I'm trying to think about who that could be. Did I say his name right, by the way? Hannibal King? Is that right? Hannibal King. I think
so.
I want to make sure I write him up there. He's 13th. He's on the board here with us. You see him here coming up there in 13th place. Appreciate everybody in the house. I want to get the answer to that.
Okay, yeah. So he did say he did mean Turpin and Aubrey.
Oh, Amazing Games dropping his thoughts here as he's in the membership for 6 straight months in that Navy Blue crew. What did Amazing Games have to say? And we'll go back to his answer.
He said, my MCF, great analysis.
Thank you. My man here, Amazing Games, West Coast representation.
Representing it 6 months in a row.
Yes. We got to get
that Navy Blue crew.
We got to get that 6 and beyond, right? That star over everything. What was the answer, baby, by the way, from Lethal?
Turpin and Aubrey. I said, USFL and XFL. Okay, gotcha. And the answer about what they have in common, special teams.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, I think I answered that, right? We answered that, right? We know our guys. Much love, Lethal L. Appreciate you, man. Welcome into the family. Everybody, he's in the membership here. Appreciate everybody.
Sorry about that, Cowboy Crusader.
What happened?
and good to know Hannibal King.
Oh, the cursing?
That is how we say it. No, the dun, 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 dun.
Oh shit! I know. That does, it scares. You should. I mean, when you watch us on the game day, you'll see us jumping up sometimes from the music that it plays through here. It's really, really loud. But in case you were sleeping, it wakes you up. You know what I mean? So, any last comments, maybe, before we run out of here? I see Snug X. He said he's too high. He's too high for that shit.
Well, you're too high. So we're gonna say bye.
Yeah, so it's time to say bye, guys.
See how smooth that was?
Cowboys Crusader said, "Oh shit!" Cowboy Crusader said, "What? I can't hear you." He lost his hearing. Chocolate Montana bringing his Navy Blue 22 months of representation here. What do you have to say, B, with his monthly membership thoughts?
Let me see. Sorry. EXO fans are brought to you by Jada Shakur Pinkett Smith. Dak laughed at them because he knows he's dropping his normal half-century Sunday.
Let's get that 50 burger for him. Let's feed him right. Hey, I hear you, Chocolate Montana. That's so funny. I was just listening to something. I was just listening. I was just listening to something.
You got me on that one.
About that whole Jada Pinkett Shakur, Tupac Shakur.
She should have dressed as Tupac for Halloween. Anyway,
I think she is Tupac. based on her comments we heard lately.
It's like an Elvis situation. He was alive the whole time.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
Amazing
man,
game. Said Snug, you high, Craig? From Friday. Hey, Friday we'll get the matchups, the keys to victory. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, I'm pretty sure it's going to be our defense versus their offense. On Thursday we're going to talk our defense, their defense versus our offense. And then again on Friday it's the matchups. So we're going to bring it here, guys. Matchups, keys to victory on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, game day, camera on. It's time. Let's get it on. I cannot wait for this battle against the Eagles. I can't wait for you guys to keep joining us here every single night, talking, exploring, analyzing, and discussing all our news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys, especially this week. So, baby, on that note, I got to remind you, I want to ask you, why do we do what we do here on MCF every single day and night?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Guys, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, I want to win. I want good this week. I want to make the Eagles feel ugly. Never forget. That star over everything is what we represent here. And here in My Cowboys Family, 6 years and beyond on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat, guys, all night long. Lethal L, he's talking about the point of view on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. That was really good there. Yeah, hell yeah. It's Modius in the house. Appreciate you, everybody here. Jason Renfro, go Cowboys and Rangers. Everyone hit that like, that thumbs up for the stream. Hit subscribe if you're new. Notification bell so you know we're going live. Follow us on Discord. Follow us. Jump in the Discord. Join that. And follow us on X or Twitter or all social media at My Cowboys Family. We're rocking it again tomorrow. We got that the Lunatic double jersey raffle. See it at the bottom right of your screen. We'll be tallying up the numbers, getting the raffles entries, in the barrel, and we'll pick out 2 winners on Sunday. Can't wait, guys. Thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. Truly appreciate your love from above, the drops of love. Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, Amazing Games, Snug X, Hannibal King, everybody in the house. Thank you for your love, your support through those means of things. And as we clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload tomorrow for another episode here on My Cowboys Family of all the Cowboy news, info, and updates, baby. Before we can officially drop out of here for tonight, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat has now officially 100% been dropped. Thank you guys for rocking with us here again. Another one here. We got a nice 5 days in Dallas. We're back in the swing of things. Guys, listen closely. We're going to try our best to get these live streams started up by 12. Every night we're going to push for 12 East Coast time. So set your time zones accordingly. But we're going to try hard to get them done a little earlier.
Yeah, get back to our
normal-ish,
usual
right?
Old schedule.
Yeah, 12 midnight Eastern. That's the hope here in the future. But until then, we'll have to move it back here and there a little bit, 10, 20 minutes. Just keep in mind, we're going to try to do it a little earlier from now on. Easier for us and easier for everybody in the house here as well, guys. So I appreciate you all joining us for another Cowboys chat. Oh, yeah, it's on. Cowboys, Eagles. I can't wait. Hell yeah. Here at MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters. Even that hater, we had to, delete his comment because he's a schmucko. It's all right. Hope everyone's doing well, stays well, and stays safe, healthy. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Hit that like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hey, peace. Much love. And never, ever forget, never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. join the